Go to the county town and ask if your third uncle has any bad habits. Okay, I'll go in the afternoon, Wang Yao said. You don't have to worry too much. He is in his 40s, and he still doesn't know what's important. Wang Fenghua felt angry as he spoke. He drank another glass of wine. In the afternoon, Wang Yao didn't go to the clinic. Instead, he drove directly to the county town. Tian Yuantu happened to be at home. What a rare guest. How come you have time to come here? After seeing Wang Yao, he smiled and said. In fact, they hadn't seen each other for some time. I have something to talk to you about. What is it? Tian Yuantu invited him into his office and made him a cup of good tea. Try it. I just brought it back from the south. Well, it smells good. Wang Yao smelled it and took a sip. Good tea. I know you like it. Take some with you when you leave later. Thank you, but I don't need it. I still have a lot at home. I can't finish it. Wang Yao smiled. Every time his friends went to see him, most of them would bring tea leaves with them. He got good tea from all over the country. He really had a lot of tea in his house. He couldn't finish it. What's the matter? Yes, there is, Wang Yao said. Tell me, what's the matter? Wang Yao was silent for a while. He was really embarrassed to talk about it. If you have something to say, just say it. There is nothing to be embarrassed about with our relationship, Tian Yuantu said with a smile. How is my third uncle doing here? Did he cause you any trouble? I want to hear the truth, Wang Yao said. Tian Yuantu didn't answer immediately. He picked up the teacup and drank some water. Well, it was really hard for him to say. Wang Yao's third uncle's performance here was really not good. He was not capable, and he had an ambiguous relationship with several women in the company. These things had spread to his ears. If it were someone else, he would have been fired. However, he always gave in to Wang Yao. Some time ago, he shamelessly wanted to be promoted, which surprised him. They were the same family. He had seen Wang Yao's father. He was definitely a loyal elder. He also knew Wang Yao's character. However, his third uncle was actually like this. How could there be such a big difference? Tell me the truth. I'll tell you the truth. His performance is not good. He is not capable. His private life is not very good, Tian Yuantu said. He said it more tactfully, but Wang Yao still heard it. Well, I'm really sorry. I've caused you trouble. Wang Yao stood up and said very seriously. He didn't expect his third uncle to not cherish this opportunity. He was not as down and out as when he first came to him. Hey, you are too polite. In fact, it's not a big deal. I have such a big company. It doesn't matter, Tian Yuantu said. He had a lot of idlers here. Some of them were relatives of some leaders in the county. He had to take care of them. Well, you can just find a reason to fire him, Wang Yao said after thinking for a while. No, it's not that bad, Tian Yuantu hurriedly said. This was really not a big deal for him. He didn't want his relationship with Wang Yao to be strained because of such a small thing. That would be really not worth the loss. Although Wang Yao was not such a person. Does he have any other bad habits? I really don't know about this. Would you like me to call his leader and ask? Okay. Wait a moment. Tian Yuantu made a phone call. After a while, a man in his 40s trotted into his office. Mr. Tian, you called for me? I have something to ask you. Tian Yuantu asked about the performance of several people in his department. Then, he asked Wang Yao's third uncle. Sure enough, his direct boss had a very bad impression of him. It could be heard that he still had some reservations. In addition to these, do you know if he has any bad habits? Tian Yuantu continued to ask. Well, I heard that he likes to gamble. Gamble? Wang Yao frowned slightly. This is very bad. No wonder he went to his family to borrow money. He even borrowed 100,000 yuan at once. I just heard about it. When the manager spoke, he glanced at Wang Yao. He thought, who is this person? Why is he here? What else? Well, he likes to drink and smoke. Well, just tell the truth. He has some unclear relationship with a few female comrades in the company. After asking enough questions, Tian Yuan-tu directly asked him to go back. You don't need to say more about this matter. He instructed again. Got it. Why do you ask about these things? Today, he came to my house to borrow 100,000 yuan at once. My dad was worried, so he asked me to come over and ask. I didn't expect that he would have so many bad habits. My third uncle, Wang Yao, sighed. He really didn't know what to say. Hey, I thought it was something serious. You don't have to worry too much, Tian Yuan-tu said. I'm not worried, but my dad is. After all, he is his brother. If this goes on, I guess he will directly become a useless person. His family will also be broken. Chapter 932. That's right. They are brothers after all. Wang Yao's relationship with his two uncles was very ordinary. When he was a child, he mainly grew up in his grandfather's family. His grandfather and grandmother didn't pay much attention to him. Naturally, he had little contact with his uncles. They didn't have any kinship. They rarely came to the village to visit his father. If they did, they would usually come to borrow money. It was only because they were related by blood. Let him continue to work here. I'll ask someone to teach him a lesson, Tian Yuan-tu said. Okay, sorry to trouble you. Hey, it's not a big deal. Tian Yuan-tu smiled. This was not a big deal for him, but Wang Yao felt sorry in his heart. Are you free tonight? Let's have dinner together. Sure, Tian Yuan-tu said. Wang Yao did not go back that afternoon. Instead, he met a few friends in Lianshan County. In the evening, he asked them to have dinner together. When he returned home, it was already past 8 p.m. He went home and said hello to his family. How is it? Wang Fenghua asked. He had been thinking about this matter in his heart. Well, smoking, drinking, and gambling. Wang Yao thought for a moment and said directly. Gambling? Yes, and having an ambiguous relationship with a few female colleagues. Bang! Wang Fenghua directly threw the cup on the table. He was very angry. Giving up a good life. He really doesn't know what his surname is. That 10,000 yuan should not have been lent to him. Wang Yao's mother could not help but mutter. Wang Fenghua didn't speak. He just kept smoking. To be honest, he was very disappointed with his younger brother. At this time, he was at the age of fighting. It was time to work hard, but he was infected with such bad habit. Sigh. He sighed helplessly. Dad, don't worry too much. I told Brother Tian to find a chance to teach my third uncle a lesson. Wang Yao said. No matter how disappointing they were, no matter how infuriating they were still their relative. Even though they had said those words out of anger, they couldn't just leave them be. Okay. Wang Fenghua spat out such a word after being silent for a long time. After staying at home for a while, Wang Yao went up Nanshan Hill alone. It was a winter night in the wilderness. There was no wind tonight and everything was quiet. Cold, very cold. Wang Yao walked a few feet with each step. In a short while, he arrived at the top of Nanshan Hill. There was a bright light on the hill. The chanting continued in the middle of the night. The next morning, Wang Yao woke up very early. He chose an open space in the herbal field. When the morning sun shone into the herbal field, the Kong wood was planted. The tree was about 2 feet tall and as thick as a thumb. The trunk was bluish-purple, and the leaves were purple. There were fine silver hairs on both sides of the leaf. San Xian wagged his tail and looked at it for a while. He then went forward and sniffed it carefully. San Xian, this is called Kong wood. It's a top-grade licorice root. Wang Yao pointed at the Kong wood and told San Xian. So far, it was the most precious herb in the herbal field. Of course, it would take a long time for it to grow and bear fruit. It would only grow 1 foot in 10 years. You have to take good care of it. Woof, woof. San Xian barked twice to show that there was no problem. In He County in southern Yunnan, thousands of miles away. This person looks a bit like someone in our village. This is his photo. Miao Qingfeng found Yang Guanfeng and showed him a photo of a person. Where is this person now? Lu Xiufeng asked as soon as he saw the photo. I don't know. You don't know? He left the village 16 years ago, Miao Qingfeng said. He took the initiative to find them after receiving instructions from Miaoxi River. He told them about the person's photo and information. What's his name? Miao Tianchuan. Why did he leave 16 years ago? Was he not on good terms with your chief? Lu Xiufeng asked straightforwardly. Yes, he was not on good terms with the chief, Miao Qingfeng said. He was very hostile to the chief. What was the reason? I don't know the reason, Miao Qingfeng said. After all, I was just a teenager 16 years ago. I didn't know much about these things. If you want to know the details, you have to ask the chief. Well, you can find time to ask him. We want to know the reason, Yang Guanfeng said. Okay, I'll ask him, Miao Qingfeng said. Is Miao Tianchuan good at using poison? Yes, Miao Qingfeng said. The chief said he was very talented in this area. Well, I see. Thank you. You're welcome. This is what I should do. After telling the other party the news, Miao Qingfeng and the others left. Why? Do you suspect Miao Tianchuan? Lu Xiufeng asked with a smile. When we first went there, they found Miao Qingshan as a scapegoat, Yang Guanfeng said. In the end, he escaped when they were about to catch him. Both of us were poisoned and laid in bed for several days. This time, they found such a person. He left the village 16 years ago. We don't know where he is now. We don't even know if he's dead or alive. This is another person who disappeared without a trace. Where do you think we should go to find him? You mean this is a person they found out of thin air? Not necessarily, Yang Guanfeng said. Maybe he's really someone from their village. Maybe he really has a conflict with Miaoxi River. That's it, Lu Xiufeng said with a smile. Isn't it their purpose to frame someone else? Well, this person, why didn't he appear earlier or later? Why did he appear at this time? Is it such a coincidence? Well, what should we do? Ask him. Ask who? What do you think? How could I forget this? There's another person in that village. Lu Xiufeng sent a text message to the person he had never met or even spoken to. There were only 3 words on it, Miao Tianchuan. Well, wait for the news. Hey, who do you think this person is? How many people do you know in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine? Well, Miaoxi River, Miao Qingfeng, Miao Changhong, and that. Lu Xiufeng said. Hey, what's the name of the very beautiful girl who cooks very well? That's enough. Yang Guanfeng smiled and waved his hand. Hey, there's a reply. In just a short while, the other party's text message came back. He really left the village 16 years ago, and his relationship with Miaoxi River is really quite bad. His parents may have been killed by Miaoxi River. According to what you've said, isn't this involved in another murder case? What's going on in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine? Yang Guanfeng asked. I think we may have to go into a dead end again, Lu Xiufeng said. It's not easy to find a clue, but it's about to be cut off. At this time, in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine hundreds of miles away, Chief. Are you ready? Yes. Let's get started. Yes. In the dark night, inside a wooden building, the lights were dazzling. It was a young man in his 20s. Xiaohe, have you thought about it? Yes, my life was given to me by the chief, the young man said. I'm willing. Well, let's get started. In the dark night, outside the Valley of Thousands of Medicine, a person walked through the jungle and went straight to the foot of the mountain. He found that the cave he had entered was completely sealed. The mountain rocks had completely sealed it. It's sealed? He looked around but couldn't find a suitable entrance. Well, Miaoxi River is fast enough. He sighed softly. That's right, A person's voice came from a corner at the foot of the mountain. If he didn't hurry, you would have found something. Miao Qingfeng? Miao Tianchuan, you're still alive. A man walked out from the shadow of a tree in the corner. I haven't gotten my revenge yet, Miao Tianchuan said. I don't want to die. TSK, since you escaped last time, you should have found a place to stay, Miao Qingfeng said. How dare you come back? Why wouldn't I dare? Well, what happened outside has something to do with you, right? What happened? Let's talk about it when we see the chief. The two figures passed each other in the dark night. Well done, Miao Qingfeng said. You haven't fallen behind in these years. Poof, poof, there were two flames in the dark. Chapter 933. One of them staggered and quickly disappeared into the shadows of the trees. Technology is changing the world now, Miao Tianchuan said in a low voice. You guys need to change your mindset. All right, stop pretending, he said to Lin Zhong. Once the medicine seeps into your skin will be as tough as steel. If you can't even do that, you won't be qualified to be Miao Shiha's fighter. Several lights flashed. Miao Tianchuan's figure flashed and dodged to the side. Hidden weapon? Whoosh. Boom. Thunder rumbled on the ground and dust flew everywhere. Cough. Cough. Whoosh. A bright light cut through the night. It was the flash of a blade. Clank. Sparks flew everywhere. Show me what you've got now, Miao Qingfeng said coldly. A few steps away from him, Miao Tianchuan no longer had a gun in his hand. Sure. Miao Tianchuan smiled. A dagger that was more than a foot long appeared in his hand. Under the moonlight, the flash of the blade and the shadows of the two men crossed each other. The two men moved very quickly. Clank. Boom. Another thunder rumbled. Dust flew everywhere. One of the men held his stomach and quickly ran away. The other man followed closely behind like a leopard. You can't run anymore. The night gradually passed. The morning sun shone on the ground. In the forest, there was a body with a large pool of blood under it. Someone found the body around 10 a.m. and quickly reported it to the stockade. Then, the people in the stockade came. Miaoshi River came personally. He carefully checked the body. His expression was somewhat serious. One slash to severely injure and one to kill. There were bloodstains on the ground. They easily found the place where the two men first fought. There were bullets. It should be the same group as last time, Miaoshi River said. Chengfeng's skills are not bad, a middle-aged man next to him said. He was killed so cleanly. The other party is an expert. Miaoshi River nodded. He looked at the ground. No one knew what he was thinking. This person is here again. He wants to check out the place he saw last time, which is the cave. He raised his head and looked at the sealed cave. It was obviously impossible for a single person to enter them alone. There's no need to continue guarding here. Who is this person? Let's go back, Miaoshi River said. Yes, Patriarch. In a short period of time, 3 people had died in the stockade. This was something that had not happened for many years. Chief, someone in the village has been talking nonsense recently. Wait a little longer, Miaoshi River said. Yes. How's the river? It's going very well. The situation is very stable so far, the man beside him said. That's good. Take good care of his family. Xiao he is a good child. Yes, master. In a county several hundred miles away. Another murder? Yes. Who died this time? Miao Qingfeng, Miao Tianchuan said calmly after taking a sip of tea. It was as if this was not an important matter at all. What's the point of killing like this? They are all Miaoshi River's lackeys. They had a part to play in my parents' death. These people deserve to die, Miao Tianchuan said. What do you want to do? Completely destroy the stockade? Destroy a stockade like that. It will only become Miaoshi River's private property if we keep it, but they don't know how to resist. Those who can resist are either dead or escaped, Miao Qingshan said softly as he looked out the window. In fact, he did not want to leave the stockade. He was born there and grew up there. It was his hometown. Until now, he had not given up on the idea of going back. Yes. That's why there's no need to continue to exist. There are still several hundred people in the stockade. People will die in the end, Miao Tianquan said coldly. Miao Tianquan said coldly. His tone was as if the hundreds of people were no different from hundreds of ants. In fact, since his parents died in an accident in the stockade more than a decade ago, his purpose of living, or rather, his motivation, was revenge. He wanted to avenge his parents by killing the Miaoxi River. However, that opponent was too strong and had the geographical advantage. Therefore, he had fled to the north all these years and spent all his effort to establish such an organization, gathering all kinds of dangerous people. What was the purpose? It was only for revenge. In the end, because of fate, it was destroyed. More than 10 years of hard work was destroyed in a day. He was also poisoned and was about to die. Before he died, he returned to his hometown and wanted to take a look. He wanted to destroy it. The first thing he thought of before he died was this place. It was a contradictory thought. However, there was always a way out, and he was not destined to die. He actually found the blood orchid. Not only did he get rid of the poison, but he also got rid of his greatest danger. His strength also improved. Then, he began his new plan. It was not his first time killing people. He did not have any psychological burden. However, Miao Qingshan was different. He had a mellow nature. Therefore, following Miao Tianquan to do these things had a psychological burden. He now felt guilty. He was a classic example of someone who was at his wits' end and had met the wrong person. Just how strong is the patriarch? Very strong, Miao Tianquan said. In fact, he had no idea how strong that person was. Last time, when he was escaping, the other party had only used one move to heavily injure him. Moreover, it was a pure martial arts technique, not poison or goo. Those were the things that he was best at and the most terrifying. At that time, the other party had not used his full strength at all. Even now, he still did not know how strong the other party's true strength was. He was still uncertain in his heart. In the past 16 years, he kept improving himself. He kept thinking of ways to improve his strength. Are you sure you can deal with him? Not sure. Miao Tianquan shook his head. If you are not sure, how can you take revenge? Sometimes, strength does not mean everything. When he said that, he suddenly fell silent for a while. He thought of that young man, the young man who made him feel despair. Maybe he can deal with the Miaoxi River? He whispered to himself. What? Nothing, Miao Tianquan said. I just thought of someone, a very powerful person. He hated the Miaoxi River from the bottom of his heart. It was a hatred that went deep into his bones. He felt a sense of powerlessness and fear toward that young man because he could not resist him. Maybe I can use him to deal with the Miaoxi River. If he wanted to use the other party, he first needed to know the other party's background. However, he was in Qi province. It was better not to go there now. In He County, hundreds of miles away. Are we going back now? There's no use staying here. Sorry, I didn't help you much. On this day, Miao Qingfeng and Miao Changhong said goodbye to Yang Guanfeng and the others. They left He County and prepared to return to the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. In fact, you have already helped us a lot. At least you have found a suspect, haven't you? After hearing that, Miao Qingfeng just smiled and did not say anything. Well, let's go after lunch, Lu Xiufeng said. I've already arranged everything here. I won't bother you anymore. Guests should follow the host's wishes, Miao Qingfeng said. Since you are here, you are a guest. That's settled. Well, okay then. Unable to refuse Lu Xiufeng's invitation, the two of them stayed for lunch before leaving. I have a hunch that something must have happened in their stockade, Lu Xiufeng said. I'll go back and rest first. Yang Guanfeng waved his hand. He had been feeling very tired recently. Whenever the He County case reached a critical moment and they saw a glimmer of hope, a new situation would immediately appear. All their previous efforts were stranded. Chapter 934. Well, why do you look so listless? Lu Xiufeng asked with a smile. I'm fine. I'm just a little tired. He was really tired. He was mentally exhausted. He went straight back to his temporary residence and fell on the bed. He lay there and looked at the ceiling. Thinking back to the things he had experienced at this stage, these cases were completely different from the situations he had encountered in the past. These cases were not relatively independent. Instead, they were completely connected. It was the kind of case where the deeper he dug, the more problems he found. He felt as if he had entered a terrible forest. When exploring the secrets, he was likely to lose his life if he was not careful. Knock, knock, knock. There was a knock on the door outside. Please come in. Lu Xiufeng pushed the door open and came in. Are you thinking about these cases? Well, I'm thinking about it. The more I think about it, the more my head hurts, Yang Guanfeng said. Then, don't think about it. Have a good sleep. Don't think about it, Wang Yao said. You make it sound so easy. The leaders above are all staring at this place. How long have we been here? Isn't there progress? At least we've found a criminal suspect. Lu Xiufeng smiled and lit a cigarette. Just like when I was in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine, I identified a criminal suspect, Miao Qinshan, but he ran away and was still wanted. Yes, if you have to understand it that way, then that's what it means, Lu Xiufeng said. Work is part of life, Yang Guanfeng said with a smile. It's to live. You can't treat it as all of life. You have to work happily. You're quite open-minded. What can I do if I'm not open-minded? Yang Guanfeng asked. Isn't this not going to solve the problem? Well, I'm really tired. I want to sleep for a while. Well, I won't disturb you. Go to sleep. Lu Xiufeng smiled and patted him on the shoulder. He went out and gently closed the door. Have a good sleep. After leaving the house, Lu Xiufeng lit another cigarette. What kind of case is this? In fact, he was also very annoyed. It was just that he had a good mentality and regarded work as a pleasure. He liked to challenge those more difficult cases. However, if the difficulty of the case was too high, then it was not a challenge, but a kind of torture. In his more than 10 years of work, he had come into contact with at least hundreds of cases, and there was no lack of cases that were very difficult to solve. These cases were very challenging, but he also enjoyed it very much. However, the cases that he came into contact with here were really not the same. He felt like he had 1,000 things to do. One pit after another, and the Valley of Thousands of Medicine was the biggest pit. Bah! Captain Lu. Secretary Guo, what brings you here? After seeing the person who came, Lu Xiufeng was slightly surprised. This young county party secretary should also be scratching his head recently, right? Nothing much. I was just passing by and wanted to check on the progress of the case. Guo Jinghe took out a cigarette and handed it to Lu Xiufeng. Thank you. Well, the case is still in the process of being solved, Lu Xiufeng said. So far, there has been no breakthrough. Secretary Guo, you don't have to be too anxious. The province attaches great importance to this case, and we will do our best. Well, thank you for your hard work, Guo Jinghe said with a smile. It's my pleasure, Lu Xiufeng said. Where is Captain Yang? He said he was not feeling well and is resting in his room. The body is the capital of revolution, Guo Jinghe said. No matter what you do, you have to pay attention to your body first. Yes, Secretary Guo is right. Are you free tonight? I'll treat you two to dinner. Tonight is no problem, Lu Xiufeng said. Okay, Then you can tell Captain Yang later that I'll be the host tonight and treat all of you. Well, I'll tell him when he wakes up, Lu Xiufeng said. After a few more words, Guo Jinghe left. Ah, this young secretary, you really can't judge a book by its cover. Lu Xiufeng left with a cigarette in his mouth. In the mountain village thousands of miles away, master. You're not on duty? No, I'm off duty. There aren't many people today. It's so cold. Who would want to come out? Wang Yao said with a smile. Well, it's cold enough today. When I drove here, the temperature outside was -12 degrees, and it's still daytime. If you don't want to come on such cold days, you don't have to. I don't think there will be that many patients, Wang Yao said. Ah, I have nothing to do at home, Pan Jun said. By the way, the primordial spirit soup is selling very well in the outpatient clinic. Many people are looking for it. That medicine is indeed good, Wang Yao said with a smile. It was his prescription, and the herbs used to make the medicine were the best wild herbs. The medicine made by such a combination was naturally good. Is there no other place to sell it in our county? Not at the moment, only your outpatient clinic has it. That's good. We'll have a specialty, Pan Jun said with a smile. There is one thing. The price can't be set too high. Don't worry about that, master, Pan Jun said. My sister and I won't make any mistakes on this issue. Pan Jun came to Wang Yao's clinic after lunch. There was only one patient in the afternoon. It was an old man from the village at the foot of the mountain. It was getting cold and his legs hurt badly. He couldn't stand it anymore and came to Wang Yao's clinic. Ah, it's been cold, the old man muttered after sitting down. My legs hurt badly. If it weren't for the fact that I couldn't stand it, I wouldn't have come out on such a cold day. How long has it been? 2 days ago, when the weather became cold, I started to feel pain in my legs, the old man said. These 2 days, it's getting worse. I can't stand it anymore, so I came to see you. I have a hot compress at home, but it doesn't work. Let me take a look at you, Wang Yao said. He tested the old man's knees. They were cold. This was a classic case of poor blood flow. Sit down. I'll give you a massage. After the old man sat down, Wang Yao gave him a massage and 2 injections. In less than 10 minutes, the old man felt that his legs didn't hurt anymore. Ah, it doesn't hurt anymore, the old man said in surprise. It's too cold. Have you hurt your legs before? Yes, I have, the old man said. The last time I hurt my legs was also in winter. I didn't get better at that time, so it became an incurable disease. When it's cold, my legs hurt, Wang Yao said. That's true, the old man said. I'm afraid of cold weather. My legs are cold. The pain can't be relieved. I don't dare to walk. I can't sleep well at night, even if I heat the Kong. All right, I'll prescribe you 2 more doses of medicine. You'll be fine after you take them. Okay, the old man said. In fact, he lived in the village next door. He had heard about Wang Yao from the villagers, but he was old and didn't want trouble. He waited until his leg was in so much pain that he couldn't take it anymore before he came to see Wang Yao. Please wait a moment. Wang Yao prescribed 2 doses of medicine for the old man and told him how to decoct and take them. The old man paid and left with the medicine. He limped when he came. When he left, it was not obvious. The main thing was that his legs didn't hurt anymore. This old man's mental state is good, Pan Jun said. Well, he's okay. But he has a lot of problems, Wang Yao said. Ah, not only his legs? Pan Jun asked. Not only his legs, but also his arms. His heart is not good. If you listened carefully when he came, you would have heard that his heartbeat rhythm was not good. His lungs are not good either. It's caused by long-term smoking, Wang Yao said. You saw all these with your eyes? For medical skills, looking, listening, questioning, and feeling the pulse, Wang Yao said with a smile. Chapter 935. Nowadays, Wang Yao only needed to look at the patient. Most of the time, he could completely determine the patient's condition without even checking the patient's pulse. Master is still the best, Pan Jun exclaimed. For the whole afternoon, no other patients came to see the doctor except for this person. Pan Jun left in the evening. Drive safe. Hey, you don't have to come out, Master, Pan Jun said. It's cold outside. When Pan Jun drove away, Jiazizai and her husband came out of the house. Hello, Master. Why are you still going out on such a cold day? Rain or shine, Jiazizai said with a smile. Turned out that cultivation was addictive. Go ahead. Wang Yao closed the door of the clinic and returned home. The sky gradually darkened. A day had passed. Day after day, the weather became colder and colder. In less than a month, it would be Spring Festival. It was very cold in the north. It snowed in the south, but it was still sunny in southern Yunnan. In the Valley of Thousands of Medicine, it was evergreen all year round. How is Xiaohe? So far, it has been stable. According to your instructions, we have been using the safest method. That's good, Miaoshi River said. Don't worry. Xiaohe is a good child. Yes, Master. How is the investigation of that matter going? It's basically confirmed. Well, don't rush to do anything. Understood. On the side of the stockade, in the huge lake, a black shadow with a huge body passed by. A man paced back and forth by the lake. He seemed to be waiting for someone. After a while, he turned and left. He returned to his home. Hundreds of miles away in He County, Lu Xiufeng received a text message. Hey Yang, look. This person sent a text message. What's the matter? I have a headache. Yang Guanfeng rubbed his forehead. It can't be, Yang Guanfeng said. I didn't think you drank much yesterday. The previous night, Guo Zhenghe had invited the two of them. He had also asked the director of the Public Security Bureau to accompany him. They drank a lot. It's a lot, Yang Guanfeng said. I drank more than a pound. I haven't drunk so much in a long time. Let's talk about business. What did he say? He feels that something is wrong. He might have been discovered. He has been discovered. What does he want to do? Yang Guanfeng hurriedly asked. That person was naturally the one who had sent them a text message in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine, the unknown undercover agent. He wants to leave the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. He wants us to find a way to ensure his safety. Are you sure? It's easy to leave the Valley of Thousands of Medicine, but his identity is a problem. He is not an informant that we have confirmed. We can't go through the procedures. We have to think of another way. Yang Guanfeng rubbed his forehead and lit a cigarette. In the Valley of Thousands of Medicine, a middle-aged man in his 30s was in his home, smoking a pipe and looking out the window. This village is so nice. I really don't want to leave, he said to himself. It was night and the moonlight was like water. The village was quiet. In the middle of the night, a person appeared alone in the quiet village. Then, he quickly went up the mountain and ran out of the mountain. Not long after, he saw someone. She stood under a tree as if she was waiting for him. Zhenglin, it's so late. Where are you going? The man's voice was a bit hoarse. Uncle, I can't sleep, so I came out for a walk. You don't have to come up the mountain for a walk if you can't sleep, the man under the tree said. You're bringing your luggage and getting ready to leave the village, aren't you? I never thought it would be you. Why? Stop being so pretentious. How did my parents die? They were poisoned by miasma. Miasma? Hee, what kind of miasma is so powerful that even Miaoshi River can't get rid of it? How dare you call the chief by his name? The man's tone became a lot colder. What chief? He's just a despicable person who has no bottom line for his own benefit, Miao Chengtang angrily said. How dare you? Hey, let him continue. A voice was suddenly heard from behind Miao Chengtang. In an instant, Miao Chengtang felt a chill all over his body. It was a chill that went deep into his bones. It was as if he had fallen into an ice cave. He slowly turned around and saw a familiar face. It was Miaoshi River. If he had only been facing the first person, he would have wanted to give it a shot. Now that he was facing Miao Shiha, he did not even have the will to resist. Miao Shiha was like a god in the village. Chengtang, come back with me. I'll go back and await your punishment. Will it be poison or poison? Miao Chengtang smiled bitterly. At that moment, he no longer had any confidence in being able to escape from those two people. However, he could not go back. He knew that if he were to go back, he would face a terrifying punishment. You killed my parents and treated me like a fool, Miao Chengtang said. You think I don't know anything? Your parents died of miasma, Miaoshi River calmly said. Miaoshi River, do you even believe what you just said? Is there any poison in the world that you can't get rid of? I was too late. The miasma attacked their hearts. I couldn't save them. Then let me ask you, where is the white jade Ganoderma? You know about it? Miaoshi River asked after staying silent for a while. Can't believe it, Miao Chengtang said. The white jade Ganoderma is one of the 6 sacred medicines in Miaojiang. Is that why you killed me? It's not what you think it is, Miaoshi River said. Then what is it? Whoosh, whoosh. Something came through the air. Boom, boom. Intense explosions were heard. Run! A loud roar was heard in the dark night. Miao Chengtang immediately ran in the direction of the sound. He was running as fast as he could. Whoosh, whoosh. A tongue of fire was seen in the dark night. Bullets rained down in a frenzy. Wherever the bullets passed, trees were toppled and rocks were shattered. Boom, boom, boom. The explosions were exceptionally loud in the dark night. What's going on? The lights in the village were turned on. Everyone came out of their yards and looked in the direction of the sound. It came from the mountain not far from the village. Why are you here? Cut the crap. Run for your life. A silhouette suddenly appeared before the two of them. Get out of my way. Flames were seen everywhere. Bullets rained down like the scythe of the Grim Reaper. No one dared to stand in the way of the bullet. You're still alive. Miaoshi River's voice was heard beside Miao Chengtang like a specter. He kept throwing grenades. Sparks were seen everywhere. Shrapnel was seen everywhere after the explosions. Miaoshi River suddenly appeared before the man holding the gun despite being under such intense firepower. He dealt a heavy blow to the man. The man was sent flying and crashed into a tree. He coughed up a mouthful of blood. The gun in his hand spat fire again. Miaoshi River did not know why he suddenly slowed down. He was caught in the crossfire. A grenade exploded right next to him. Chief. Miaoshi River stood up after the dust settled. He looked completely unscathed. Well prepared for the song-breaking needles? His figure moved, and then he appeared a few meters away. Let's go. The two of them ran in a frenzy in the forest. Whoosh. They heard the sound of a river. *T. There's a river up ahead. Miao Chengtang shouted. There was a cliff that was tens of meters tall, less than 30 feet in front of them. Below the cliff was a raging river. There was no way forward. Hurry up and jump. Miao Tianchuan jumped without hesitation after shouting. Miao Chengtang had no choice but to jump as well. It was pointless anyway. It would have been easier to die that way. They jumped off the cliff that was tens of meters tall and fell into the raging river. Most of the people in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine were good swimmers. There was a big river right outside, and there was a huge lake right next to the village. They had all learned how to swim since they were young. Miao Chengtang quickly surfaced after falling into the water. Qingshan. He heard someone shouting. He then saw a boat coming with the river. A rope was thrown from the boat, which pulled him over. The river was raging. He floated in the river, choking from time to time. He eventually made it onto the boat. Huff, huff. Miao Chengtang breathed heavily. He did not care that he was soaking wet. He looked up and saw several people on the cliff that was getting further and further away. That was close. He sighed. Today, the two of them were almost going to die there. It's a good thing you thought it through. Chapter 936. Miao Tianchuan turned around and looked at the cliff, which was getting further and further away from them. Miaoxi River was far more powerful than he had anticipated. He had actually made ample preparations for the trip. He had even wanted to take advantage of the rare opportunity to kill the Miaoxi River right away. As such, he had prepared powerful weapons, ranging from machine guns to high-explosive grenades. He had even prepared powerful gunpowder, which was capable of causing landslides if necessary. It was such a surprise attack that allowed the Miaoxi River to survive. Furthermore, he survived almost unscathed. Is he even human? He's practically a monster in human form. He's just too powerful. They were able to escape alive partly because they had made ample preparations and partly because of luck. That Miaoxi River is just too powerful, no? Miao Chengtang exclaimed. Yeah, he is indeed very powerful, much more so than I expected, Miao Tianchuan said. After receiving your message, I was hoping to take advantage of the opportunity to kill him, Miao Chengtang said. Even if I didn't kill him, I would have been able to severely injure him. I didn't expect him to be this powerful. He's not human. He's a monster. He's using methods passed down in the village, Miao Chengtang said. He's using drugs to stimulate his body, making him invulnerable. I know he's invulnerable, Miao Chengtang said. But you're using machine guns and grenades. No matter how invulnerable he is, there's no way he can defend himself against grenades. Let's go. Let's get out of here. We'll think about how to deal with him when we get back. Yes, sir. Miao Qingshan piloted the boat and quickly drifted away along the rushing river. Miaoxi River stood on the cliff far away and looked at the rushing river without saying anything for a long time. Chief? Let's go back. He waved. Yes, sir. He never expected things to turn out like that. It was supposed to be a sure thing, yet they managed to escape. That Miao Tianchuan is a rare talent, he said to the person next to him. Indeed, he's a tough one, the middle-aged man next to him said. Yeah, I was careless this time, he said with a sigh. Patriarch, I don't care about that. It's just that the other party is too cunning. The enemy is cunning. This is the excuse for failure. The fault lies with me. In front of his own people, Miaoxi River admitted that this accident was due to his lack of consideration. He had indeed been inconsiderate. He had been high and mighty in the stockade for too long. Ever since the great turmoil 16 years ago, the stockade had been peaceful. No one questioned him, and everyone respected him like a god. This had also caused some changes in his mentality. He thought that everything was under his control and that those outside were just clowns who could not make any waves. However, the series of events that had happened during this period of time, especially what happened tonight, made him realize that there was a problem with himself during this period of time. Go back and contact the outside world. Tell them to get moving and find these 3 people at all costs. Yes. The boat drifted down. It did not take long for them to travel more than a dozen miles. They landed at a very remote beach. Without stopping, they made their way through the forest through the night. By dawn, they were already in a small town hundreds of miles away. All right, we're safe for now, Miao Tianchuan said. Let's rest for the morning and think about our next move. We'll see if we should leave southern Yunnan. Leave? Miao Chengtang was dumbfounded. That's right, Miao Tianchuan said. After what happened last night, Miao Shihe will probably use the power and authority he's accumulated over the years against us. The power he's accumulated over the past decade is nothing to scoff at. I've done a rough investigation. From the high officials and nobles to the lowly people, There are people outside the stockade. Once that power is mobilized, it'll be quite terrifying. If we're not careful, we'll be exposed. We'll then be faced with endless pursuit like maggots attached to bones. It's best if we can borrow external power, Miao Tianchuan said. What do you think of the suggestion I gave you last time? The two criminal investigation experts from the provincial capital? Yes, that's them. Let's think about it a little more. Miao Tianchuan had another plan in mind. He found someone more suitable. Cough, cough, cough. Miao Qingtang suddenly coughed. What's wrong? Nothing. Maybe I choked on water? In the Valley of Thousands of Medicine, Miaoxi River stared at the blood-stained soil before him without saying anything. It's the blood orchid. The blood orchid? How is that possible? How did he get it? The man next to him was shocked. There's no mistaking it, Miaoxi River said. That would explain why he was still alive after being poisoned. He must have taken the blood orchid to get rid of the poison. How did he know about that place? Qingtang told him, of course, Miaoxi River said. The two of them must have been in contact for a long time. Is Qingtang poisoned as well? Yes, but I triggered it last night. It's probably already acting up. In a hotel hundreds of miles away, Miao Qingtang spat out a mouthful of blood. Qingtang. It's poisoned. Miao Tianchuan looked at the dark red clot of blood he spat out. It was buried in his body a long time ago. It was triggered last night. Miaoxi River, you bastard! Miao Qingtang clenched his teeth and said. He felt as if there were countless little bugs biting his organs. The pain was unbearable. Here, take this first. Miao Tianchuan took out a bag from his pocket. There were several blood orchids inside. You've been there again? We'll talk about that later, Miao Qingtang said. Just eat it. It should work. Miao Qingtang chewed up all the blood orchids and swallowed them. After a while, the pain in his abdomen began to subside. Didn't you guys eat the blood orchids? Miao Tianchuan asked. No, Miao Qingtang said. Didn't Miaoxi River tell you why? He said that the flowers conflicted with some of the medicine in our bodies, Miao Qingtang said. It might have caused great damage to our bodies. He had people watching over the blood orchids he collected. They were all people he trusted. Conflicted with medicine? That's Miaoxi River's doing, Miao Tianchuan said. He uses medicine all over his body. Some of the extraordinary poisons have seeped deep into his blood. It's only natural that the blood orchids conflicted with it. You guys should be fine. Yeah, I've had my suspicions for a long time, but I didn't do anything out of line so as to not give myself away. That's not safe, Miao Tianchuan said. I'm not sure if the poison in your body has been completely removed. I feel like it's already gone. Maybe that's just an illusion. After all, the poison might have been concocted by Miaoxi River himself. We can't afford not to let our guard down. What do we do then? Just like you said, we'll have to find a way through those two, Miao Tianchuan said. But that's dangerous. Maybe Miaoxi River has spies around them. Contact them and see what they're up to. Will do. That's settled then. Qingshan and I will have to hide for a while. Yeah. Lu Xiufeng received another message in He County. Hey, old Yang, that guy ran out and got poisoned. He suspects that Miaoxi River is after him. He wants us to protect him. What's his name? Did he say anything? Miao Qingtang. Miao Qingtang. Let me have a look. Yang Guanfeng started to look through the information in his hand. The information was from 15 years ago, which they had just found. It was about the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. There really is one. Miao Qingtang was 22 back then. He's 37 now. No, old Yang. He's asking for our help. What does that have to do with our age? We have to help him, but we have to keep it a secret. Only a few people know about it. If what he said is true, he's a witness. I'm really impressed by the influence that Chief Miao has. He's actually able to get a high-ranking official in the province to speak for him. His influence is indeed extraordinary. Where is he now? He's in He County. Oh, he's here. How interesting. Shall we meet? Of course. Lu Xiufeng smiled and lit a cigarette. Chapter 937. They met in a small restaurant. The place was very remote. Miao Qingtang was dressed in very ordinary clothes. He had put on a simple disguise. So careful! Seeing him in person for the first time, both Yang Guanfeng and Lu Xiufeng looked at him very carefully. Then, they carefully imprinted his body shape and appearance in their mind. This was a professional habit they had formed over the years. At a glance, they could almost remember this person's appearance in just a few seconds. When did you escape? Just yesterday. Why? Didn't I tell you guys that I was discovered? Miao Qingtang asked. He did not seem to have had breakfast when he spoke, as he did not have much strength. Hey, what's going on? Lu Xiufeng asked. Look at you. You don't look well. I've been poisoned. Really? Of course, Miao Qingtang said. Why would I lie to you? He had been poisoned. Even if he had taken the blood orchid, there was no guarantee that it would be safe. As such, he had discussed it with Miao Tianchuan for a long time the previous night. He had finally decided to take the initiative and contact Yang Guanfeng and Lu Xiufeng. He could use them to find a way to completely remove the poison in his body. He could also use their power to deal with the Miaoxi River. Those two were official representatives. No matter how powerful the Miaoxi River was, he was just one person. He was not a god. Poisoned? Should we go to the hospital first? The Miaoxi River has a lot of eyes and ears, Lu Xiufeng said. Although he spends most of his time in the stockade, he has arranged for people to weave a very large network outside. I think he has already used that network. If I were to show up in a common hospital, he would quickly get the news. I would not be safe then. Are you afraid of him? Of course I'm afraid. You don't know what he's capable of, so there's nothing to fear. If you don't go to a big hospital, where would you go? Yang Guanfeng lowered his head and pondered. Lu Xiufeng's worries were not completely unfounded. I know of a place. Where? The king pharmacist of Miaojiang, Lu Xiufeng said. It is said that there is no disease that he cannot cure. I've heard of this person before, but I heard that his treatment rules are very strict, and it all depends on his mood. It's very troublesome. Ah, it's no trouble. Strictly speaking, I still have some friendship with him, Lu Xiufeng said with a smile. You and him? Yeah, it's a long story. In this situation, he's definitely the right person. No, absolutely not, Miao Qingtang said. Why not again? What's the reason this time? The Miaojiang king of medicine, Wu San, once studied under a master in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. To be precise, he was Miaoxi River's younger brother. I don't know if the two have been in contact over the years, but I can't take the risk. What? They are fellow disciples? Lu Xiufeng was dumbfounded when he heard that. He knew that Miaoxi River was famous throughout the Miaojiang region. Many people traveled thousands of miles to seek treatment from him, and there were many nobles among them. However, they did not know where the king of medicine's superb medical skills came from. There were many different opinions. Only then did they know that it came from the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. That Valley of Thousands of Medicine is really something, Lu Xiufeng complimented. All right, stop lamenting, Yang Guanfeng said. Think of something. Yeah, I think that Chief Miao's so-called connections are at most in the province, Miao Qingtang said. If we go out of the province, it'll be much safer. That's a good idea, Miao Qingtang said. Let's think of a way to contact a hospital outside the province and have him do a full checkup there. We'll think of something else after that. Yeah, that's settled then. Excuse me, Miao Qingtang said. This poison is unusual. It's best not to go to a normal hospital. It'll be a waste of time. Alright, we got it. Where do you live? I don't have a place, Miao Qingtang said. I live in a rundown house outside. Well, we'll arrange a place for you to stay, Yang Guanfeng said. Alright, thank you. You're welcome, Yang Guanfeng said. We'll have to trouble you to be a witness. No matter what, they needed to do their best to ensure Miao Qingtang's safety. With the arrangements made, neither of them told anyone about it. The news of the incident was kept within a very narrow range. Where should we send him next? Hey, do you think he's pretending to be poisoned to get us to protect him? Lu Xiufeng asked. I don't think so, Yang Guanfeng said. We'll know once we go to a proper hospital. Now we need to think about where to send him for treatment. How about Jing? Jing? Yang Guanfeng asked. Of course, it's great. Do you have any connections there? Jing had the best medical and education systems in the country. No, but isn't there someone here who does? There is someone, Yang Guanfeng said. You mean Secretary Gua? Yeah, he's from a wealthy family in Jing, Lu Xiufeng said. Didn't he say that when we were drinking that night that we could go to him if we were in trouble? We're in trouble now. Is it appropriate to tell him that? Not necessarily, Yang Guanfeng said. We'll just say that a friend or relative is seriously ill and wants to go to Jing for treatment. We'll ask him to help us get in touch. Alright, I'll go talk to him. You get in touch with someone reliable to send Miao Qingtang out of the provincial capital. Will do. The two of them split up. Yang Guanfeng quickly met up with Guo Jinghe and told him why he was there. No problem. What's wrong with him? Guo Jinghe agreed without hesitation. I'm not too sure about that, Yang Guanfeng said. He's seriously ill, and he wants to go to a better hospital. Sure, give me a moment. Guo Jinghe made a call to Jing right in front of Yang Guanfeng. It didn't take long for him to get in touch. I've made the call. You can contact this person when you get to Jing. Just mention my name to him. Guo Jinghe gave Yang Guanfeng a phone number. Thank you so much, Secretary Guo. You're being too formal with me. It's nothing, Guo Jinghe said with a smile. With the matter settled, he bid farewell and left. He then called Lu Xiufeng, who took Miao Qingtang out of He County and headed straight to Jing. Guo Jinghe also notified Su Xinyuan and asked him to keep an eye out. He felt that it was too much of a coincidence for Yang Guanfeng to come looking for him to treat his relative. Does this have anything to do with the case? Miao Qingtang had been keeping in touch with Miao Tianquan ever since he went off on his own. Qingtang went to Jing. Jing? What's he going to do there? Miao Qingshan asked. He's going to see a doctor, of course, Miao Tianquan said. While the blood orchid is miraculous, there's no guarantee that the toxins in his body can be completely removed. There might be a way to get him to Jing with the help of those two. That place is full of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. Chapter 938. Capital. Miao Qingshan repeated the name softly. You've never been there? No. Miao Qingshan smiled and shook his head. Do you want to go? Of course, Miao Qingshan said. For the past 20 years or so, he had spent almost all of his time in the stockade and rarely went outside. The furthest place he had ever left the stockade was a small city a few hundred li away. That kind of place could not be compared to the capital at all. Shall we go and have a look? Right now? Miao Qingshan was dumbfounded. Yeah, right now. Miao Tianquan took off his hat and combed his hair, which was not exactly luxuriant. But both of us are wanted, Miao Qingshan said. How are we supposed to get there? We can go if we want to. What about the village? What about the Miaoxi River? Let's put it aside for now, Miao Tianquan said. There's nothing we can do even if we stay here. Furthermore, the security in the village should be very tight right now. They won't give us any chances. He wanted revenge, even in his dreams. However, he did not lose his mind. He had been able to restrain himself from the very beginning. His mind had prevailed over his emotions. Get ready. We'll head out tomorrow and have a look at Jing. We'll meet up with Qingtang on the way. Sure. Miao Qingshan nodded. He did not want to stay there any longer. He knew that he could not return to the village. Deep down, he did not hate the Miaoxi River that much. He was not like Miao Tianchuan, who wanted nothing more than to skin the man alive, eat his flesh, and drink his blood. Since he could not return, he decided to leave and go somewhere else to have a look. Miao Qingtang made it to Jing from southern Yunnan in just 2 days. He sighed in relief when he got there, thinking that he was finally safe. Guo Zhenghe had not lied to them. He had contacted a specialist from a renowned hospital in Jing. They began to perform a full body checkup on Miao Qingtang. The results of the initial blood test made the doctor very surprised. It was the first time that he had seen such a disease. The patient's body contained a large amount of toxins, which he had never seen before. He used the blood extracted from the patient's body to conduct an experiment. Even though the blood was very cold, it was enough to block several white mice. This showed that the toxins in the patient's body were very terrible. However, this person's body was only in a subhealthy state. There was no danger to his life. It was very shocking that this person's body was only in a subhealthy state. There was no danger to his life. But this person's body was only in a subhealthy state. There was no danger to his life. This was very shocking. How could this be? Then, he arranged for someone to conduct a more detailed and comprehensive analysis of the patient's blood. Then, he found several substances in the patient's blood that did not exist in the blood of ordinary people. He did not know what these substances were. Then, he asked his colleagues. They had never seen such a situation before. This was a special case that had great research value. Miao Qingtang was scared out of his wits by how serious the doctor was. Doctor, what's going on with me? Truth be told, he did not think that his body was that bad. However, after being scared by the doctor, he felt that his body had suddenly become a lot weaker. It was all a psychological effect. We found several unknown substances in your blood, the doctor said. We're analyzing them. Your body is not in any danger at the moment. You can rest assured. Oh, I'm relieved. Miao Qingtang breathed a sigh of relief after hearing that. Also, we're going to do a more comprehensive checkup on your body. We'll determine the corresponding treatment based on the result. The checkup will not be completed in a short time. You need to be hospitalized. Do you have any other questions? No, I'll be hospitalized then. Thank you. Miao Qingtang went through the hospitalization procedures and went through the checkup one by one. It took him 2 days in total to find something wrong with him. The specialist was looking at a checkup report in a daze. What's going on here? Through the comprehensive checkup, they found 2 small tumors in the patient's heart. The key problem was that the 2 tumors were of a type that they had never seen before. What are they? He was unable to tell, so he gathered his colleagues for a consultation. This is the first time I've seen a tumor like this. Let's do a biopsy. That was the most commonly used and effective method. The specialist thought about it for a bit and told Miao Qingtang about the situation. What? Tumors? Miao Qingtang's mind buzzed as soon as he heard that word. His mind went blank. Although he had never been out of the stockade, it did not mean that he did not know anything about the outside world, especially in terms of medicine. In terms of time, their stockade was relatively well informed in this regard. He naturally knew what the word meant. At the same time, he also thought of another possibility, which was even more terrifying. We're planning to take a biopsy of the tumor to determine its exact condition. No, no, no. Miao Qingtang cut the doctor off before he could finish. What's wrong? The doctor noticed that Miao Qingtang's expression had suddenly turned extremely sour. Sweat had appeared on his forehead. "Ah, let me explain," Miao Chengteng said. "Not all tumors are malignant. There is a common misconception that people don't have a solution for. In truth, a considerable number of tumors are benign and do not have any pathological changes. Those tumors will not cause any harm to the patient's body after surgery. They will not leave any side effects after recovery. That is something that needs to be understood." "No, no, no, you don't understand," Miao Chengteng said. "That's not what I meant. Those two tumors are absolutely not to be touched." "Very well," the doctor said. "Let's continue with the other tests. You can think about that one later." Since the patient did not have any relatives with him, there was no way for him to do anything through his family. As such, he had no choice but to put the matter aside for the time being. "It has to be. It has to be. It can't be wrong." After the doctor left, Miao Chengteng mumbled to himself in the room. His face was pale. His eyes stared straight ahead and were filled with fear. "Damn that Miaoshi River!" Ring, ring, ring. His phone rang. "Hey Tianchuan, are you guys on your way? This is great. The Miaoshi River has cursed me. That damned bastard should be cut into pieces and eaten alive." "What?" Miao Tianchuan, who was on the other end of the phone, was shocked. "Are you sure? I just had a checkup. They found tumors in my head and heart. Those two places are not tumors at all. They are cursing the heart-eating curse. There's no mistaking it. Don't worry. We'll be there soon." After hanging up, Miao Tianchuan looked out the window and did not say anything for a long time. "What is it?" "Chengteng might have been cursed." "What? What curse?" Miao Qingshan was shocked to hear that. Although their village did have cursing bugs like that, they had only heard about them over the years. They had never seen them before, and they had never thought that such cursing bugs would be used on their own people. "Is he sure?" "He sounded very sure," Miao Qingshan said. "I've only heard about this curse, but I've never seen it with my own eyes." "Have you seen it before?" "No, I haven't," Miao Qingshan said. "This curse is very cruel. When the old chief was still around, he banned its use and research. It was sealed." "Sealed?" Miao Tianchuan sneered after hearing that. "We'll talk about it when we see him. If it's really the heart-eating curse, how do we cure it?" Miao Qingshan asked. "Other than the Miaoshi River, those who can cure this curse are all old people in the village. Other than them, I'm afraid no one else has the ability to do so." Miao Tianchuan was silent after hearing that. He knew what Miao Qingshan was talking about. "There should be someone who can cure it." "Are you talking about Wu San?" "Yes, he's also a disciple of the old chief," Miao Tianchuan said. "In terms of medicine, he might not be much worse than the Miaoshi River." "I've heard that he has a strange temper," Miao Tianchuan said. "He might not be willing to do anything. He might not be willing to do anything if others ask him for help. If you ask him, he'll definitely help. You're the grandson of the old chief. Even so, you should have gone to Wu San's place back then. Why bother coming to Jing City?" "I came to Jing City to hide and relax," Miao Tianchuan said. "Who would have thought something like this would happen?" The Miaoshi River had a lot of tricks up his sleeve, and he was proficient in all of them. It was impossible to guard against him. They went to Jing City that night and saw Miao Chengteng, who looked very anxious. "Tianchuan, Qingshan, you guys are finally here." He had no one to rely on when he was there, and he was panicking after encountering something like that. He felt somewhat at ease after seeing those two. "Are you sure it's the heart-eating curse?" "Most likely," Miao Chengteng said. "I've seen people who were hit by the curse before. Their hearts were dug out. That was where the curse bugs started to eat them. Once the heart-eating curse was triggered, the bugs would hatch and start to eat from the heart. They would continue to lay eggs. The bugs would spread from the heart to the rest of the body through the bloodstream, eating away at the organs, flesh, and bone marrow. The victims would die in excruciating pain. It was one of the most terrifying types of curse. Let's leave Jing City and head back to southern Yunnan. Head back? Yes, head back to where Wu San is, Miao Qingtang said. We talked about it on the way here. None of the people in the village who can cure the curse will help. The only one who can cure the curse is Wu San. Don't forget, he's the brother of the Miaoxi River. Yeah, but the old chief did him a great favor, Miao Tianchuan said. Now that Qingshan is here, he'll probably do us a favor. How could I forget about that? Miao Qingtang slapped his head after hearing that. There was hope, and most of the fear in his heart dissipated. Chapter 939. Miao Tianchuan had considered going there before, but he did not dare to go after considering Wu San's relationship with the Miaoxi River. The king pharmacist of Miaojiang had studied in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine for a period of time under the old chief, who was Miao Qingshan's grandfather. Back then, the old chief praised Wu San, saying that he was a rare genius with unparalleled talent. However, due to the rules of the village, he did not teach him some of the most confidential things. Even so, his medical skills still shocked the people in the village. Furthermore, he had accumulated over the years. His ability to heal and save people was probably on par with the Miaoxi River. All right, that's how it will be, Miao Tianchuan said. It's a little late now. I'll take care of your discharge procedures tomorrow morning. Don't worry. At that point, that was all he could do to comfort Miao Qingtang. The next day, in the office of the doctor they had found through their connections, the doctor was still studying Miao Qingtang's condition. He was stunned when he heard that Miao Qingtang was going to be discharged. Why? We haven't figured out what's going on with him yet, the doctor said. It's irrational to leave the hospital right now. We know, doctor, Miao Tianchuan said. We don't want to leave the hospital right now, but something happened at home. He needs to go back. It's urgent. Well, all right, but you'll have to write something to prove that you're leaving the hospital voluntarily, the doctor said. Sure, no problem. Just like that, they finished the procedures and left the hospital on the same day. Guo Jinghe, who was thousands of miles away in He County, received the news of their discharge. He even received the details of their checkups at the hospital. Discharge? What's the hurry? Well, I have a theory, Su Xinyuan said. I heard the medical staff talking about something like the heart-eating curse, Guo Jinghe said. Perhaps Miao Qingtang has been poisoned. Poisoned? Yeah, Guo Jinghe said. Also, 2 other people came to see him after he was hospitalized. They seemed to be people who knew him well, but I've looked into his background. He doesn't have any direct blood relatives in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. He hardly ever goes outside. So, I'm guessing that those 2 are probably from the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. Where would they go? I'm not sure. I tried to follow them, but I didn't succeed. Among the 3 of them, one of them is an expert. The baleful aura on his body is very strong. He noticed me the moment I got close. All right, I got it. Thank you for your hard work, Uncle Su. Be careful. Okay, Su Xinyuan responded. On a certain road in Beijing. Someone was following us. Who is it? Miao Qingtang hurriedly asked. Someone I don't know. Miao Tianchuan said. He could sense that the other party was a veteran, and it was very likely that they were in the same line of work. Almost at the same time that he noticed the other party noticed as well. The other party then decisively gave up on following them. I don't know him. Could he have been sent by the Miaoxi River? Miao Qingtang was traumatized. His fear of the Miaoxi River had reached an all-time high. Whenever that name was mentioned, he would shudder. It was as if he had heard a ghost calling his name. Probably not here, Miao Tianchuan said. Who could it be? It could be Yang Guanfeng and the others. Miao Qingtang was still not completely at ease after hearing that. He was truly scared. Miao Tianchuan patted him on the shoulder. They arrived in southern Yunnan a day later, and met the king pharmacist of Miaojiang, Wu San. "It's you, Qingshan." Wu San recognized Miao Qingshan right away. "It's me, uncle." There was no problem with Miao Qingshan addressing Wu San as uncle. "Why are you here?" Wu San asked in surprise. He did not know much about what was going on in the outside world. In truth, he did not care much about what was going on outside. He was only focused on what he liked. "I have something to ask of you." "What is it?" Wu San was slightly surprised. "Please treat me." "Treat me? You?" Wu San asked. "It's not me. It's my friend." "Someone from the stockade?" "Yes." "Why don't you look for the Miaoxi River?" Wu San immediately asked. "You escaped as well?" He immediately realized something. "Yes." Wu San thought for a while. "Tell him to come in." "Hello." Miao Qingtang greeted him with a smile as soon as he came in. "Sit down. Where do you feel uncomfortable?" "My heart. I suspect I've been inflicted with the heart-eating curse." Miao Qingtang voiced his suspicions right away. "Heart-eating curse?" Wu San was shocked when he heard that. He then carefully examined Miao Qingtang's body. "It really is." He frowned slightly. "Who did this to you?" "The Miaoxi River." Miao Qingtang gritted his teeth and said. "Him?" Wu San was a little stunned after listening. "It's been a while since I've seen that curse." He sounded rather emotional. "Can you treat it?" "Of course." "Well, what's the cost?" "Cost?" Wu San looked up at Miao Qingshan. "I'll help you this time out of respect for your grandfather," Wu San said. "Thank you. Thank you so much." Miao Qingtang hurriedly thanked him. He almost knelt down and kowtowed to him. "All right, lie down." "Yes." Wu San then began to treat Miao Qingtang's curse. "It's been a while since I've done this." He sighed to himself. He had seen the heart-eating curse more than a decade ago. The memory was still fresh in his mind. He had tried to treat it before, but he had failed. It was fortunate that Miao Qingshan's grandfather had been there to help. That person had not died in the end. He had learned how to treat the curse from Miao Qingshan's grandfather. "Drink this first." Wu San handed Miao Qingtang a bowl of soup. "What is this?" "Drink it," Wu San coldly said. "Sigh." Miao Qingtang hurriedly drank all of the medicine. It didn't take long for him to fall asleep. When he woke up again, it was already dark. His upper body was naked, and there was gauze wrapped around his chest. "You're awake. How do you feel?" Miao Qingshan, who was sitting beside him, saw him wake up and asked. "Yeah, my chest hurts a little," Miao Qingtang said. "I don't have much strength left in me." "Has the heart-eating curse been cured?" "Yes," Miao Qingshan said. "Uncle Wu said that you need to rest for 5 to 6 days, Miao Qingtang said. "We'll stay here." 5 to 6 days? That long? "You've lost a lot of blood," Miao Qingtang said. "You need to rest. Otherwise, you'll hurt your bones." "That's a long time, and we're in southern Yunnan. What if the Miaoxi River finds out?" "Are you that scared of him?" "Of course. You don't know how scary he is." "Don't worry," Miao Qingtang said. "We're in a very secluded place. Besides, he might not even know we're here." Miao Qingtang was still worried after hearing that, but there was nothing else he could do. He could not leave even if he wanted to, so he had to wait there for a few days. Thousands of miles away in the north, snowflakes floated in the sky. They were not heavy. Wang Yao was treating a patient in the clinic. It was an old man from the village below. He was about 60 years old. He was not very tall, and most of his hair had fallen out. His eyes were yellow. He had been coughing ever since he entered the clinic. "Do you smoke?" "Yes," the old man said after coughing. "At least 1 pack a day?" "Yeah, I can't miss it." "Do you drink?" "Yes, 2 meals a day," the old man said. "If you want your illness treated, You'll have to quit smoking and drinking, Wang Yao said. Otherwise, there's no need for treatment. The old man was dumbfounded. It's been so many years, the old man said with a sigh. It's hard to quit. It was not that he had never tried, but he had never succeeded. He could not take it anymore. If you keep this up, it'll be more than just pain, Wang Yao said. The old man had problems with his lungs and liver, and they were serious ones. The main reason for that was his lifestyle. Both smoking and drinking had eroded his body for a long time. His qi and blood were depleted, and his yang energy was insufficient. If things were to keep going on like that, he would be beyond cure. Can you prescribe me some medicine first? Anything to stop the pain will do. The old man asked Wang Yao to prescribe him medicine. I don't know how to prescribe medicine, Wang Yao said. Even if I did, it wouldn't do you any good. You should go back and think about it. Yao, can you prescribe some medicine for me? The old man asked. Chapter 940. Uncle, if you don't quit smoking and drinking, it's useless to take medicine, Wang Yao said. This was only because he was from the village and was an old man. If it were anyone else, he would have chased them away. Open a server for me. The old man was not happy to see Wang Yao refuse to do it. How could a doctor refuse a patient's request? You can go back. I won't prescribe medicine for you, Wang Yao said. This child. The old man was not happy. He stood up, flung his sleeves, and left angrily. Hey, old man, what's the matter? What a temper! When Jia Zizai came in, she happened to see the old man leave angrily. He's sick and needs medicine, but I didn't prescribe it, Wang Yao said with a smile. Why? If you don't change your bad habits, taking medicine is useless and a waste, Wang Yao said. What's the matter? Well, there's something. Jia Zizai took out her phone. Take a look at this. There was a message on the phone. It was gossip. The Valley of Thousands of Medicine? Yes, this place is in southern Yunnan. Last time you told me about it, I also had someone investigate it. Recently, it has been quite lively there. In less than a month, more than 20 people have died. I heard that the higher-ups know about it. Are these things related to the Valley of Thousands of Medicine? They were all poisoned to death, Jia Zizai said. The two suspects are from that place. Oh, okay, I know. If possible, ask your friends to pay more attention to it and contact me if there is any news. Okay, I know, sir, Wang Yao said. The Valley of Thousands of Medicine is far south, thousands of miles away. Why do you pay attention to them? Thousands of miles away, people have come to seek medical treatment, Wang Yao said. Is that Secretary Guo with the county magistrate? Yes, his name is Guo Jinghe. He is a third-generation official. His father is the governor of this province. I've treated his illness before, so I have a relationship with him. Although Secretary Guo is young, he has a lot of ideas. He can introduce people from the other side to come here to see a doctor. Maybe he will do something else, Wang Yao said. Pay close attention and take precautions. I got it. After listening to Wang Yao, Jia Zizai knew what to do. After chatting for a while, Jia Zizai left the clinic. After going out, she immediately contacted her friends in southern Yunnan and asked them to pay attention to the news of He County and the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. When they went home for lunch, Zhang Xiuying asked about what had happened in the morning. It turned out that the old man from the lower village had come to their house and said something unpleasant to Zhang Xiuying. Mom, don't be angry. Why would I be angry? I'm not familiar with him. That man just knew your dad and said a few words to him, Zhang Xiuying said with a smile. Wang Yao nodded and did not speak. Is he very sick? He is very sick. If he continues like this, I don't think he will live for more than 3 years. Is it that serious? Zhang Xiuying was shocked. Illness is one thing, Wang Yao said. The key problem is that he knows he is sick, but he still doesn't change his bad habit. The key is that he doesn't listen to others. Such a person doesn't know how to cherish his body. He will only get sicker. Where is my dad? Someone from the village went to treat your father to a meal. Who is it? Wang Yijie. Him? He doesn't usually have much contact with our family. Why is he suddenly treating us? Wang Yao asked out of curiosity. Well, I don't know. Your dad didn't want to go, but he came 5 or 6 times this morning. They are from the same village, so it would be inappropriate if he didn't go. So, your dad went, but he didn't go empty-handed. He brought 2 boxes of cigarettes. Well, that'll do, Wang Yao said with a smile. We won't be able to use all those things for a while anyway. People like Tian Yuantu and Sun Yunxing would always bring gifts like cigarettes, alcohol, and tea when they came. Many little drops made a mickle. At the moment, half of his house was filled. He usually gave some to his brother-in-law and used them at home. He had no use for them at all. Thousands of miles away in southern Yunnan in the Medicine King village. That was the village where the king pharmacist of Miaojiang lived, so it was called the Medicine King village. Miao Qingtang was able to get out of bed in less than a day. When he was changing his dressing in the morning, he found a wound on his chest. It was as thin as a red line and about 2 inches long. The king of medicine couldn't have opened my chest, right? He pondered. The one who changed his dressing was Wu San's student, Ah Cheng. Does your chest still hurt? It doesn't hurt anymore, Miao Qingtang said. I just don't have much strength left. By the way, how did the king pharmacist treat me? Did he open my chest? I don't know. The man shook his head. Ah, thanks. Miao Qingtang smiled awkwardly. After changing his dressing, Ah Cheng left. Miao Tianchuan came in from outside. How do you feel? I just don't have much strength left, Miao Qingtang said. My chest hurts a little, but other than that, I'm fine. That's good to hear, Miao Tianchuan said. Qingshan went to ask the king pharmacist. The curse has been removed. We'll leave as soon as you feel better. Sure. They were still worried about staying there. They were in southern Yunnan, which was only a few hundred miles away from the village. It was neither near nor far. Stay here and recover, Miao Tianchuan said. Let Qingshan take care of you. I need to go out for a bit today. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Go out? What for? So that you can rest and recover, Miao Tianchuan said. Keep the Miaoxi River busy. You're not going to the village, are you? Don't go. Of course I'm not going to the village. I'm not an idiot. All right, just rest and recover. Miao Tianchuan left the village. No one knew where he went, leaving the 2 of them there in fear. Xushan County, which was hundreds of miles away, was only a few dozen miles away from the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. It was the closest county to the valley. That afternoon, something major happened in the county. More than a dozen people were poisoned in a restaurant, and they were in critical condition. The county hospital was helpless and sent them directly to the city. 2 people died on the way there. The county and the city took the matter very seriously. At the same time, they immediately thought of the poisoning that had happened in the neighboring He County some time ago. F***CK, why are they here? The person in charge of the county was anxious and angry. He slammed the table and cursed. What? Xushan County? Lu Xiufeng and Yang Guanfeng, who were in a deadlock in He County, were very surprised when they heard the news. This is crazy. After receiving the news, they rushed to Xushan County in the shortest time possible. By the time they arrived, Xushan County had already taken action. The whole county was under martial law. With the lesson learned from the neighboring county, they naturally took it seriously, especially the public security department. They opened their eyes wide. They did not expect to solve the case in a short time. They were afraid that the problem would continue to grow in a short time. It did. 2 of the dozen people who went to the city died. Damn it. After hearing the news, Yang Guanfeng slammed the table and smoked 5 cigarettes in a row. Report, we found a suspect, Yang Guanfeng said. What? Where? Lu Xiufeng suddenly jumped out of his chair. They sped all the way in the car and ran through the few traffic lights in the county. They went straight to the scene where the suspect was surrounded by armed police. Inside. Yes. How did you find him? Someone nearby found someone inside, Yang Guanfeng said. He took a peek and found a body inside. It was still bleeding. There was another person who seemed to be injured. He called the police. A body? Injured? Yes. Good, very good. Get ready to attack, Yang Guanfeng said. Try to catch him alive. The heavily armed police stormed into the house and saw 2 people on the ground. They had no ability to resist. One person was in a pool of blood. It seemed that he was dead. The other person was in a coma. Well, what's the situation? The danger they imagined did not happen. Forensic doctor, quick! Soon, forensic doctors came over. They had followed Yang Guanfeng and the others. The experts from the provincial capital were all experts in this field. This one is dead, and this one is still alive. Be careful with the things on them. Don't touch them. Chapter 941. Could it be poisonous? Yes, there's nothing wrong with being careful. Look at how they're dressed. Lu Xiufeng pointed at the 2 men on the ground. They're from the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. They were wearing homespun clothes, which were easy to identify. They look like them. The area was sealed off. The dead body and the seriously injured man were sent to the hospital and quarantined. The doctor quickly found poison on the seriously injured man and quickly tested it. At the same time, the samples were sent to Jing for testing. Yang Guanfeng and Lu Xiufeng were drinking and smoking in a restaurant. Their brows were furrowed. This time, even Lu Xiufeng was no exception. Are they from the Valley of Thousands of Medicine? At least it looks like them. No, are they crazy? Yang Guanfeng asked. He really couldn't understand what these people were thinking. Why would they take such a big risk to do such a thing at such a critical time? No matter how I look at it, it looks like they're framing us. We'll know if we check it out, Yang Guanfeng said. Didn't the province just conduct a census? One of the key points was the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. Yes, we'll know. Well, okay. Both of them had ID cards on them. Their identities matched that day. The 2 men were from the Valley of Thousands of Medicine and both had the surname Miao. It's true. What happened to the dozen people? A total of 6 people are dead now, Yang Guanfeng said. The rest are very dangerous. Well, hurry up and think of a way, Lu Xiufeng said. If the remaining dozen people also die, we'll be in big trouble. They were very anxious. The comrade in charge of Xushan County was as anxious as ants on a hot pan. The city leaders were very anxious, and the provincial leaders were also very anxious. What was going on? What was going on? Nearly 30 people had died in such a short time. This was a very serious matter. In the Valley of Thousands of Medicine, hundreds of miles away, Miaoxi River had a serious expression when he heard the news. Chief. It was Miao Tianchuan who did it, Miaoxi River said with a sigh. I really underestimated him. I didn't expect him to have no bottom line. He would do anything for revenge. What should we do now? Let's wait. I think Yang Guanfeng will contact us soon, Miaoxi River said. How is Xiaohe? So far, the situation is very stable. We are increasing the dosage. Yes, we must prioritize safety. Yes. Miao Tianchuan, what a talent! Miaoxi River sighed. What a pity. Outside the mountains, in Xushan County. Contact the Valley of Thousands of Medicine? Yes, I've already contacted them, Lu Xiufeng said. At this time, they should be on their way. Well, contacting them should be the best choice. Regardless of who the murderer was, the most important thing at the moment was to save the lives of the dozen people and prevent the situation from worsening. The people from the Valley of Thousands of Medicine came quickly. Miao Qingfeng brought Miao Changhong and another old man in his 60s to Tsushan County. After meeting them, they did not say much. They went straight to the city to see the dozen patients who were still in critical condition. They came with medicine. After Miao Changhong and the old man examined them, they decisively took the medicine. In less than an hour, the vital signs of the patients all stabilized. The medical staff at the scene breathed a sigh of relief when they saw the situation. They were under a lot of pressure. After all, 3 people had died in their hospital. If they continued to die, they would have to bear considerable responsibility because these people were still alive when they came. The leaders who were paying attention to the incident were also relieved after hearing the news. At the very least, the number of deaths would not increase further, and the situation would not continue to deteriorate. Then, the next thing to do was to investigate this case with all their might. Who was it? Was it an individual or an organization? How could they be so crazy as to create so many vicious incidents in such a short period of time and cause so many casualties? To express their gratitude, Lu Xiufeng and Yang Guanfeng, as representatives, invited the Miao Qingfeng and the others to a banquet. Thank you for your help to prevent the situation from deteriorating further and save the lives of the dozen people. You're welcome, Captain Yang, Miao Qingfeng said. I know that so far, all the blame has been directed at us, but this matter really has nothing to do with us. What about the 2 people? They are people from our stockade, the Miao Qingfeng admitted. That day, after treating the dozen people, they went to see the 2 people, 1 dead and 1 injured. The Miao Qingfeng confirmed on the spot that they were people from their stockade. I remember you saying that people from your stockade rarely come out, Lu Xiufeng said. What were those 2 doing out there? Why were they in a place like that? To be honest, their mission was to gather information, the Miao Qingfeng said. Miao Qingshan and Miao Chengtang. Miao Chengtang? Who is he? Lu Xiufeng asked. He already knew the answer to that question. In truth, they had been in contact for a while. He's someone who escaped from the stockade. Escaped? Why did he escape? Yang Guanfeng asked. He broke the rules of the stockade and took something he shouldn't have, Miao Qingfeng said. What was it? The medicinal materials in the stockade. Some of them are used to save lives, while others are used to harm and kill, the Miao Qingfeng said. Is there such a poison? Yes, the Miao Qingfeng said. Lu Xiufeng and Yang Guanfeng looked at each other after hearing that. It was a complicated matter. Why? Haha, I don't know about that. The Miao Qingfeng shook his head. He's probably dissatisfied with the stockade. Is he dissatisfied with your chief? Lu Xiufeng put a mouthful of food into his mouth. The Miao Qingfeng was silent for a while after hearing that. Maybe. Why is there so much going on in your stockade? Miao Qingfeng asked. Regardless of who this person is, he must have had something to do with your stockade. You don't deny that, do you? I don't deny it, the Miao Qingfeng said. Before coming, the Miaoxi River had specifically told the Miao Qingfeng a few things to pay attention to. Up until then, or rather, a long time ago, the matter had become impossible to deny that it had anything to do with the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. Instead of making excuses, it was better to just admit it. TSK, who could the culprit be? What is their purpose? Can you guys help me analyze it? We suspect these people are Miao Qingshan, Miao Chengtang, and Miao Tianchuan, Miao Qingfeng said. The 3 of them are very suspicious, and they are most likely in cahoots. They are very dissatisfied and hostile toward the stockade, but they are unable to take direct revenge. As such, they came up with this method of framing. Your analysis sounds quite reasonable. Lu Xiufeng nodded. In terms of time, deep down, he was leaning toward that conclusion. As vicious incidents continued to happen, things were getting more and more out of hand. At the same time, It was becoming clear that the Valley of Thousands of Medicine was involved. That was true. The Miaoxi River had no motive to do so, so the people who had a grudge against him had a great motive. They took the opportunity to frame him, which made them notice the stockade hidden deep in the mountains and the Miaoxi River. The next step was to list him as a key suspect and pour all the dirty water on him. Of course, it was unknown why those people hated the Valley of Thousands of Medicine so much. That was how chess was played, but there was no bottom line. They treated human lives like child's play. Killing people was like crushing ants. People like that deserved to die. They had to be punished severely. We have saved the person, but this is far from over, Yang Guanfeng said. Tell your chief that we need your full cooperation to catch the culprit. When he said that, his tone was cold. He no longer had the tone of negotiation that he used to have. Yes, the Miao Qingfeng said. Before we came here, the chief told us to fully cooperate with you. We will do everything we can to help you catch the culprit as soon as possible and prevent them from continuing to do evil. We will also clear the name of our stockade. All right, thank you in advance. Chapter 942. It's my duty, the Miao Qingfeng said. They were there on orders from the chief to cooperate with Yang Guanfeng and the others. The situation was getting out of hand, and the impact on their village was getting worse and worse. They had been hiding in a paradise in the mountains, but they were now completely exposed. Furthermore, they were exposed in such a negative light all of a sudden. It was bad. Very bad. Given the current situation, they had to focus on the main point. What was the main point? They knew very well that it was Miao Tianchuan. Once he was captured or killed, this matter would be over. As for the remaining few people, they wouldn't be able to cause any trouble. But now, how to find this person was a very troublesome matter. He had no family or friends, and he did not have a fixed place to stay. Everything he did was for revenge. He was someone with no bottom line. Xushan County was a small county, and its infrastructure was relatively backward. However, they had recently installed a lot of new surveillance equipment in many places. It was because of the incident in the neighboring He County that they were on tenterhooks at the slightest sound. Now, the surveillance equipment was playing its role. They saw a person in a surveillance camera in a corner near the crime scene. It was a person with his head covered. He looks a lot like that guy from last time. Lu Xiufeng was able to tell with just one look that the person was the one they had seen in He County. Are you that sure? My instincts have always been accurate, Lu Xiufeng said. By the way, that's what you're thinking, right? Yes, that's what I'm thinking. Then get ready to have old He work overtime. Once the portrait is done, we'll report it and issue a warrant for his arrest. They moved quickly. The case was highly valued by the Ministry of Defense in Jing. The bounty on the person's head was very high. Furthermore, the people wanted were Miao Tianchuan, Miao Qingtang, and Miao Qingshan. The bounty was in the hundreds of thousands. Many people were tempted. In the Medicine King village, hundreds of miles away, you did this? Miao Qingtang looked at a message on his phone. He was shocked. Gosh, this is crazy. He felt cold all over. The coldness was even colder than when he saw Miaoxi River when he escaped from the village. No, I can't do this. He made up his mind in an extremely short amount of time. In Xushan County, hundreds of miles away, old Yang, come here, Lu Xiufeng suddenly said excitedly. What happened? Look, our undercover agent sent a text, Lu Xiufeng said. He's with Miao Tianchuan and Miao Qingshan? Yes, there are also photos taken secretly. Great! Yang Guanfeng clapped his hands excitedly. They are now in the Medicine King village. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go. In the Medicine King village, hundreds of miles away, Miao Qingtang was lying in bed. The more he thought about it, the more scared he became. When he saw the message, the first thing he thought of was Miao Tianchuan. What the man said before he left was too memorable. Furthermore, connecting that incident to the past, he was able to confirm that the murders in He County had something to do with Miao Tianchuan. He was the one who did it. Miao Tianchuan wanted to frame Miaoxi River for the murders. That was close to 30 people. Those were living people, not animals. It was obvious that it was a serious matter. It would definitely attract the attention of the higher-ups, who would pay extra attention to it. As expected, all 3 of them were wanted all over the country. The bounty on their heads was huge. For the sake of revenge, Miao Tianchuan was willing to pay any price. There was no bottom line. He was now a madman. If he were to leave the village, at most, he would lose his former home. If he were to stay with Miao Tianchuan, he would be listed as a wanted criminal by the entire country. No matter where he went, he would be hated by everyone. As such, he had to quickly draw a line between him and Miao Tianchuan. From the beginning to the end, he had no idea what Miao Tianchuan was doing outside the village. He had not participated in any of it. He did not tell Miao Qingshan anything. He just lay in bed and waited anxiously. Damn it, what kind of broken road is this? Lu Xiufeng muttered more than once along the way. They split up into several groups. Some took the main road, while others flanked them from both sides. The armed police were all fully armed. Furthermore, Miao Qingfeng and Miao Changhong were there as well. Another old man who traveled with them left after detoxifying the dozen people. He returned to the Valley of Thousands of Medicine alone. You have to be careful. They all know how to use poison, and they are not offline. They will do whatever they can. Before the operation, Yang Guanfeng made it clear to the armed police participating in the operation that they were to kill if necessary. That was because the way the enemy used poison was simply too powerful. It was impossible to guard against them. Why do they all like to hide in such a corner? All right, stop complaining. We're almost there. Several hours later, they arrived at the periphery of the Medicine King village. They gradually formed an encirclement. That time, they mobilized a lot of police because the case was too serious. Miao Tianchuan, who was in the village, smelled something unusual. Someone is coming. Someone? Who is it? Miao Qingshan asked. I don't know, Miao Tianchuan said. Maybe it's someone from the village or the police. We need to leave right away. What about Chengtang? He hasn't recovered from his injuries yet. Take him with us, Miao Tianchuan said without hesitation. The 2 of them went to the place where Miao Chengtang was recovering. Chengtang, we need to go, Miao Tianchuan said. Go? Now? Why? Miao Chengtang was shocked. I feel that something is off, Miao Tianchuan said. It's not safe here. Did the Miaoxi River send someone here? I don't know, Miao Tianchuan said. It's not safe here. We need to leave right away. But, given my current condition, Miao Chengtang felt troubled. How about this? You guys go first, Miao Tianchuan said. I'll stay here for a couple of days. I'll look for you guys when I've recovered. Maybe your senses are wrong? There's no mistaking it, Miao Tianchuan said with certainty. Miao Tianchuan said with absolute certainty. Over the years, he had relied on this somewhat mystical sixth sense to escape death countless times. I really can't leave in my current condition, Miao Chengtang said. I'm so weak. I'd be a burden to you guys if you were to take me with you. Really? Russell. Miao Tianchuan heard a very soft yet concentrated sound. It's not someone from the village. His expression changed. That sound was most likely from the police. He wondered how they were able to find out. Let's go. He grabbed Miao Qingshan and left. They jumped out of the house and headed straight for the mountain. Target detected. I repeat, target detected. Hold it. Rat-a-tat-tat. Gunshots were heard. In the jungle, the police were unable to compete with Miao Tianchuan and the others. As such, they quickly lost track of them. In the village, The king pharmacist of Miaojiang was very surprised. He had been there for many years, and it was the first time he had seen so many police officers barge in. He quickly learned what had happened. After staying silent for a while, he sighed and said, "He's a lunatic." "What else do you know?" Lu Xiufeng asked. He had some history with the old man before him. Qingshan's grandfather was the old chief, Wu San said. He was an honest kid who had always stayed in the village. He probably had nothing to do with what you're talking about. Miao Tianquan's parents died in an accident. They went to the mountains to look for medicine with the Miaoxi River. Back then, only the Miaoxi River returned. He believed that his parents were killed by the Miaoxi River, so he had a very strong opinion of the Miaoxi River. "I stayed there for a while," Wu San said. "That's all I know." He had indeed stayed in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine for a while. He knew some things, but that did not mean he knew everything. "Tell me about the Miaoxi River then." "He is an amazing person," Wu San said. "When I was learning medicine from the old chief in the village, the old chief said that he was the most outstanding person in the village in the past 150 years. He was very talented. He is even better than you." "Yes, he is better than me." Wu San nodded. He was not one to easily submit to people. In fact, there were very few people he had submitted to in the past few decades. He could count them with one hand, and one of them was the Miaoxi River. "Then do you think he's the one behind this?" "No," Wu San said decisively. Chapter 943. Why? Lu Xiufeng asked curiously. "There's no motive," Wu San said. "He's doing fine in the valley. Why would he send people out to kill so many people? What's his purpose? Moreover, he himself is the staunchest supporter and guardian of the rules and traditions that have been passed down in the village for hundreds of years. He hopes that the village can continue to be passed down like it has been for hundreds of years and avoid too much interaction with the outside world. It is like a paradise," Wu San said. Judging from what he said, he seemed to know a lot about the Miaoxi River. "Thank you," Lu Xiufeng said. "All right, let's get out of here. It's too noisy here." Wu San waved his hand. "Well, this won't cause you any trouble, will it? If you need anything, just give me a call." Lu Xiufeng thought for a bit and left his phone number. "Let's go." Wu San had said a lot to Lu Xiufeng that day. Based on his usual habits, he probably would not have said so much at one time even in a month. "Thank you." Lu Xiufeng got up and bowed before leaving. "Captain Yang, Captain Lu, we didn't manage to catch the two suspects. So many of us failed to catch them?" Lu Xiufeng lit a cigarette. He was not angry. He had expected such an outcome. "Yeah, they seem to be very familiar with the jungle around here. We lost them not long after they went into the mountains." "Got it. Inform the staff in the nearby counties and villages to report as soon as they're found." "Yes, sir." Yang Guanfeng and Lu Xiufeng met Miao Chengtang for the second time in the bamboo building in the Medicine King village. They saw him in real life. "We meet again. Did you catch them?" "No, they got away." Miao Chengtang breathed a sigh of relief after hearing that. They were from the same village, after all, and they had once lived together. While he did not agree with what Miao Tianquan had done, deep down, he did not want the man to end up being arrested and sentenced to death. Even if he had failed and died, it should have been done in a different way. "Have you thought it through?" "Yes," Miao Chengtang said. "Let's have a chat then." "I don't think it's appropriate here," Miao Chengtang said. "Why? Are you afraid they'll come back?" "I'm afraid." "Sure, let's go somewhere else then." This grand arrest came suddenly and ended quickly. "Wait, what's going on?" The people in the village who were waiting to see the doctor were all stunned. They were shocked. "Who knows? Are they trying to catch a fugitive?" "Hey, look, is it them?" Someone searched for the news that had just been released on the internet. "The wanted criminal is here?" "No way. That's possible. This place is so remote. Oh my God, he killed more than 20 people. These are all rumors. They might not be true. This sudden turn of events made the Medicine King village quite lively. In the nearby mountains, Miao Tianchuan and Miao Qingshan were hiding on top of a mountain. They didn't catch up. No. Miao Tianchuan looked down the mountain. No one knew what he was thinking. I wonder if Cousin Cheng is going to be all right? He should be fine, Miao Tianchuan said. It's fine. He must have been taken away by the police, right? Miao Tianchuan replied. It's the human heart that is unpredictable. 3 people were in an interrogation room in He County's Public Security Bureau. They were Miao Qingtang, Yang Guanfeng, and Lu Xiufeng. Tell me about it, Lu Xiufeng said. Can I have a cigarette? Here you go. Lu Xiufeng tossed him a cigarette. Miao Qingtang then told him everything he knew, regardless of whether it was big or small. So, you're saying that Miao Tianchuan was the one behind all those murders? I don't know if he was alone or if he had any other accomplices, Miao Qingtang said. But Miao Qingshan and I were both in the village for a while after the murder happened. Regardless of whether it was before or after we left the village, we had no idea that Miao Tianchuan was that crazy. He's out of his mind. For the sake of revenge, he's willing to do anything. Why did he return to the village all of a sudden back then? Miao Qingtang asked. He knew that going back to the village meant certain death. Why did he go back? He probably knew that he was going to die back then. He wanted to go back and see his hometown before he died. Was he going to die? Yeah, he was poisoned, Miao Qingtang said. He was poisoned when he escaped from the village. The poison was very potent. It's quite impressive that he was able to hold on until now. Miaoshi River? Not him, Miao Qingtang said. It was someone else. Oh my, everyone in your village is of the same surname, Lu Xiufeng said. The fights sure are intense. Where there are people, there are fights, Miao Qingtang calmly said. That's normal. All right, keep going. How did he manage to hold on? He probably found some sort of miraculous medicine. Miraculous medicine? Yeah, Miao Qingtang said. Southern Yunnan is filled with forests and countless herbs. According to the records in the village, there are several herbs that are extremely rare. They are known as sacred medicines. Those herbs have the ability to bring the dead back to life. Maybe he found one of them, Miao Qingtang said. Like the blood orchid? Yeah. Can you help us find out where they are? The Miaojiang area is filled with forests, Miao Qingtang said. It's impossible to find them if they hide in there. Furthermore, I think he's already suspicious of me. So soon? His sixth sense is very strange and accurate. I've seen it with my own eyes more than once. Aside from those things, is there anything else we don't know? Tell us. Give me a pen and a map, Miao Qingtang said. I'll circle the places we've been to over the past few days. It'll probably be useful to you. Sure. What? He's a spy? Are you sure? When the higher-ups heard that they had captured a suspect, they were very happy. However, after communicating with Yang Guanfeng, they found out that the man was actually a spy. Yeah, I'm sure. He contacted us when we were in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. Get him to help us capture the other 2. The higher-ups are keeping a close eye on us. They're in a hurry. Yes, sir. It took Yang Guanfeng a lot of effort to explain Miao Qingtang's identity. All right, you don't have any more questions for now. For now? What do you mean? If we find any evidence to prove that you were involved in those cases, it'll be a different story. I told you I wasn't involved, Miao Qingtang said. I'm not as crazy as him. I believe you, Yang Guanfeng said. That's what we've deduced. However, we'll have to wait until Miao Tianchuan is captured before we can make a final decision. Furthermore, you can't be sure that the Valley of Thousands of Medicine didn't know about it beforehand, Can you? Yeah, but you guys have to protect me. Miaoxi River is looking for us right now. Once Miao Tianchuan is sure that I'm the one who leaked the information, he'll find a way to kill me. Don't worry, we'll make sure you're safe. In a hotel somewhere in Xushan County. I heard they caught someone. Yeah, only a few people know about it and they're very tight-lipped. Who is it? Miao Qingtang. Him. Are we going to find a way to get rid of him? Miao Changhong asked. No, we can't take that risk at this juncture, Miao Changhong said. Right now, we need to think of a way to help them capture Miao Tianchuan as quickly as possible. It doesn't matter if he's dead or alive. Chapter 944. Let's ask the chief, Miao Changhong said. Scum like him shouldn't be allowed to live in this world. Miao Qingtang, who had surrendered, felt rather uneasy in He County. The place was simply too close to the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. Based on what Yang Guanfeng and Lu Xiufeng said, there were people from the village helping them with the case. The ones who came were Miaoxi River's most trusted subordinates, Miao Qingfeng and Miao Changhong. If those two knew that he was in He County, they would have come to greet him in a very special way. Miao Qingfeng was not so bad, but he knew Miao Changhong very well. Miao Changhong was an expert at using poisons. Miao Changhong's methods of using poisons were praised by even the Miaoxi River. Things like that were no secret in the village. There were different ways to die. To Miao Qingtang, dying a painful death by poisoning was one of the most tragic ways to die. As such, he eagerly went to find Yang Guanfeng. Where do you want to go after leaving this place? Far away from here, Miao Qingtang said. Away from southern Yunnan. Why? Are Miao Qingfeng and Miao Changhong still in He County? Yes. They probably already know that I'm here, Miao Qingtang said. How can you be so sure? Information about you is highly confidential. Very few people know about it. You still know too little about the Miaoxi River, Miao Qingtang said. Maybe someone in your police force will provide him with information. Is that so? Is he that good? Indeed. How about this? Stay here for a day, Yang Guanfeng said. We'll think about where to send you. Sure, please do it as soon as possible, Miao Qingtang said. After leaving Miao Qingtang's temporary residence, Yang Guanfeng went to find Lu Xiufeng to discuss the matter. He's very scary, Lu Xiufeng said. He doesn't seem to be faking it. TSK, do you think this Miaoxi River is really so resourceful? What does he have? Didn't you hear what Miao Qingtang said? While the Valley of Thousands of Medicine looks like a paradise that stands aloof from worldly affairs, they actually have businesses outside. You saw it when we went to the village last time. Some things just can't be hidden. Those people in the village are probably practicing medicine outside. No matter what, we have to take care of this matter and ensure his safety. All right, I have no objections to that. After the two of them finished their discussion, they reported it to their superiors. Due to Miao Qingtang, they were able to make a breakthrough in the case. Their superiors agreed to let him go to a nearby province for temporary refuge. Thank you. Miao Qingtang breathed a sigh of relief after hearing the news. Don't worry, we will ensure your safety. Somewhere hundreds of kilometers away, a man wearing a baseball cap looked at a wanted poster on a telephone pole. It was not a portrait but a picture, a real picture. Do they look alike? He turned his head and asked the man beside him. That's weird, the man said. It was a portrait yesterday. Why is it a picture now? A picture and a portrait were two completely different concepts. A portrait was a conjecture, so there would be some discrepancies between the two. Furthermore, the discrepancies could have been huge. However, a picture was different. It was real. I never expected Miao Qingtang to give me such a big surprise. The two men were none other than Miao Tianchuan and Miao Qingshan, who had disguised themselves. Even if one were to compare the pictures, One would not be able to tell that they were the ones in the picture unless one was paying close attention. At that moment, Miao Tianchuan was extremely angry and heartbroken. The betrayal of a friend was even more heartbreaking than the betrayal of an enemy. Cousin Chengtang? Miao Qingshan was dumbfounded. Are you saying that he was the one who provided the picture? Take a look, Miao Tianchuan said. This is a recent picture of us. Who else could have provided it other than him? Him? Why? To draw a line between us and save his own life, Miao Tianchuan said. Qingshan, if you want to leave, I won't stop you. Leave? Where would I go? I'll just follow you, Miao Qingshan said. He wanted to leave as well, but he had nowhere to go. He did not want Miao Chengtang to have contacted Yang Guanfeng and the others long ago. Don't worry. I'm here. Miao Tianchuan patted him on the shoulder. He stared at the picture on the telephone pole and smirked. No one knew what he was thinking. Hundreds of miles away in the Valley of Thousands of Medicine, Miao Chengtang has become a tainted witness. Interesting. Very interesting. Miaoshi River had a smile on his face after hearing the news. He seemed to be very happy. I think Tianchuan must be very pissed. Master, I'm pissed just hearing about it. He must have said a lot of bad things about us. Indeed, people like him value their lives a lot, Miaoshi has said. In this regard, he's not as ruthless as Miao Tianchuan. He's not ruthless enough. We can't let him go so easily. Yeah, tell Qingfeng that we can't let him die. We have to keep him alive. If he doesn't want to die, we'll make him suffer worse than death. Yes. Suffer worse than death? Miao Qingfeng was dumbfounded when he heard the news. He turned to Miao Changhong and asked, What do you mean? I know what you mean, Miao Changhong said with a smile. Poison and bug him. Do it both ways and make him suffer. That smile was terrifying to look at. Leave it to me. Sure, be careful. He's probably under heavy protection right now. In a tea house somewhere in He County. Uncle Su, what's the rush? It's about Miao Chengtang. Him? What about him? I've been in contact with someone from a village, Su Xinyuan said. I'd like to get in touch with him and introduce him to us. Introduce him to us? What's the point of that? Guo Jinghe asked. He only wanted people who were of value. He knew that Miao Chengtang was of little value at the moment. He was tasteless, but it would be a pity to just throw him away. He was unable to help them capture Miao Tianchuan, the man he hated the most. He knows quite a lot about the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. I don't want to know too much about that place, and I don't want to have too much interaction with them, Guo Jinghe said after taking a sip of tea. But, sir, I think we need to get in touch with those people more, Su Xinyuan said. Based on what I've seen so far, there's an 80% to 90% chance that we'll come into contact with the Valley of Thousands of Medicine again. How about this, Uncle Su? Get Miao Qingyuan to get in touch with him. Don't expose me. Sure, I know what to do. It was getting late into the night. Miao Chengtang had just finished dinner when he received a call. It was a call that he had not expected. Is that you, Qingyuan? Miao Chengtang was very happy to hear the other person's voice. The two of them were rather close back in the village. Yes, it's me. Are you in He County? How did you know? Miao Chengtang was shocked. He even said that the news of him being here is absolutely confidential. Now that he's called, and it's from someone he didn't expect at all. How did the other party know? If the other party knows, does it mean that more people will also know? Don't worry about it. There's something I need to tell you. Think about it. Miao Chengtang quickly knew what the other person meant. Chapter 945. Miao Qingyuan was recommending someone to him, someone who wanted to take on the Valley of Thousands of Medicine, or rather, someone who was preparing to take on the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. Let me think about it. Miao Chengtang isn't in a hurry to agree. He really needed to think about it. Although he and Miao Qingyuan had once been close friends, that was all in the past. People changed. He did not know if Miao Qingyuan was still as simple as he had been back in the village. It was highly likely that he had become a completely different person. He said he needs to think about it, Miao Qingyuan said to Su Xinyuan after hanging up. Yeah, you should find some time to leave this place as soon as possible. Miao Qingfeng and Miao Changhong are both in He County. You said yourself that the Miaoxi River has a lot of spies. I'll leave as soon as I'm done with this. After hanging up, Miao Qingtang lay on his bed and stared at the ceiling. He was waiting to leave He County, so he did not go out. He ate in his room. His eyes looked rather dull. His mind was filled with all sorts of messy things. Every bit of his life back in the village, the thrilling escape from the village, the predicament he had after escaping, and the near death from the curse. What was he going to do in the future? He would have to start over from scratch in a foreign land. He had no skills. At most, he knew some medical skills. Survival would be a challenge. How could he live a decent life? As for money, he was practically penniless at the moment. After thinking for a long time, he suddenly jumped up. He picked up his phone and gave Miao Qingyuan a call. What can he give me? That was the most direct question he could ask. Su Xinyuan smiled when he heard Miao Qingyuan pass on the message. It's good that you have a request. I'm just worried that you don't want anything. What does he want? Money. Leave Nanha and start a new life. No problem. Where does he want to go? Su Xinyuan asked. After hanging up, Miao Qingtang looked out the window and sat there in a daze. This was the third call in less than an hour. The other party was very sincere, and the first meeting gift was 100,000 yuan. No one was a fool now, and no one's money would fall from the sky. Since he had decided to take the money, he had to work. What could he do? He could only provide some useful information. In fact, he knew a lot of information. He only told Yang Guanfeng and Lu Xiufeng about 10 or 20% of it. He hid more important secrets in his heart and never told anyone. It's time to say it. In another place in He Prefecture. Have you found the location? Yes. Miao Qingfeng took a sip of tea. But now is not the right time for us to take action. Why? That place is a bit special, and there are police officers nearby. If we're not careful, we'll be discovered. Then we'll be in trouble. Miao Qingshan and Miao Changhong were still in He County. They were still thinking about how they could make Miao Qingtang suffer a fate worse than death. They already knew where he was hiding. We have to wait until he leaves southern Yunnan. When is he going to leave? Soon, Miao Qingfeng said with a smile. I'm afraid he's looking forward to leaving this place every day. Thousands of miles away in Qi province, it was already winter. It was the coldest time of the winter. The weather is getting colder and colder. Jia Zizai, who was standing on Eastern Mountain, did not wear much. She was not bulky. Instead, she looked very neat. On Eastern Mountain, the grass and trees were yellow. On Southern Mountain, the grass and trees were green. The contrast between the two nearby mountains was rather obvious. Soon, Hume said. I think the weather will get warmer by the new year. In truth, the temperature of the weather did not have much of an impact on them. The three of them were already able to resist both heat and cold. In such weather, even if they were to wear only a single layer of clothing, it would not have done any harm to their bodies. What the master taught us is amazing, Jia Zizai exclaimed more than once. All right, brother is here. Get ready to train. The wind was strong and cold on the mountain. The three of them sat cross-legged with their eyes closed. It was quiet all around. On Southern Mountain, it was as warm as spring. Wang Yao practiced martial arts on the top of the mountain before going down. When he returned home, he found his father smoking. What's the matter, Dad? Your third aunt called last night. She wants to divorce your third uncle. Zhang Xiuying came out of the kitchen when she heard Wang Yao's voice. Divorce again? What's the reason this time? Wang Yao asked. It was not the first time his third uncle and third aunt wanted to divorce. In his impression, it seemed to happen once or twice a year. Your third aunt said that your third uncle is fooling around outside and has an ambiguous relationship with other women. Zhang Xiuying said. She called your father at 10 o'clock yesterday. The two of them are quarreling at home. Wang Yao was unhappy when he heard that. The two of them were really ignorant. Almost every time the two of them quarreled, they would call his parents and make his parents worried. What did my third uncle say? Divorce, Zhang Xiuying said. Ah, good, really good. Wang Yao was speechless after hearing that. This couple, this quarrel, it was really better to leave. In fact, his third uncle was already married and had a career. He should not have brought these trivial matters to his father. After all, he was not a child's family. It's easy for you to say, Wang Yao said. It's not like you don't know the situation of your third uncle. He has nothing. It was not easy for him to find a wife. What if he gets divorced? Although your third aunt has all kinds of problems, she is not bad in nature. With someone to take care of her, your third uncle can more or less restrain himself. I don't care how they quarrel, but Dad, you don't have to worry about it. They are both in their 40s. They are not children. Well, Wang Fenghua just nodded and agreed. At 9 o'clock in the morning, Zheng Weijun came to the clinic with a happy expression. Sir, are you busy? No, I haven't had any patients so far. Looking at you, the sales of the new medicine have been opened? Wang Yao asked with a smile. It has been opened. Zheng Weijun nodded. These days, he did not eat or drink because of this matter. His white hair had increased a lot. When he gave up the family power in his hands, he was very decisive. However, when he really started his own business, he realized how difficult it was. In the past, those so-called friends who patted their chests did not value him as a person. They valued the power in his hands and the big golden name of the Jing family above his head. Now that he had taken the initiative to withdraw, how many people would sincerely help him? Fortunately, Wang Yao's medicine was indeed effective. True gold fears no fire. There have been 2 second purchases from distributors in 2 cities, Zheng Weijun said. He was talking about outside the province. The Sun family in Dao did not count. In fact, the Sun family had been continuously purchasing medicine. At the same time, Sun Yunxing had made a special trip to sign an agreement with him. From now on, not only in Dao, but also in the entire Qi province, he wanted the Sun family to be the sole sales agent of Nanshan Pharmaceutical Company. In addition, he would spend 1 to 2 months in the markets of North China and Northeast China. Then, he would talk to Zheng Weijun. The 2 second purchases were from the southern cities outside the province. Okay, Wang Yao said with a smile. It's all thanks to Sir. The medicine is indeed extraordinary. Zheng Weijun said with emotion. This was the key. As the saying went, good wine fears no dark alley. This was the case even in this society. There was no fear of no one wanting good things. Consulting was so developed. As long as there was a little popularity and something that attracted attention, it would spread quickly on the internet. The medicine is not in a hurry to be produced, Wang Yao said. Ah! Zheng Weijun was stunned. Fake medicine is too rampant now. Tell those drug dealers that we give them a fixed amount of medicine every year. Wang Yao said. Originally, Wang Yao did not intend to intervene in this matter. After all, Zheng Weijun was responsible for the sales when they first negotiated. Ah, this is a suggestion. You don't have to listen to it. There can only be one distributor in each large area, and the amount of medicine supplied is also limited, Wang Yao said. Well, sir, this suggestion is very good, Zheng Weijun said. I have found a special research institute for anti-counterfeiting. So far, Nanshan Pharmaceutical Company has 10 anti-counterfeiting measures. Most of the fake medicines can't be imitated. The cost is too high. Okay. Wang Yao nodded. Wait for next year and prepare to produce the second medicine. Chapter 946. Wang Yao had already prepared the prescription. He also had several main herbs, which were enough to produce the first batch of medicine. The quality of the herbs was absolutely guaranteed. What herbs do you need? Can you tell me first? I can arrange for people to prepare them early, Zheng Weijun said. Wang Yao told him the herbs he needed. It's still the same requirement. The quality of these herbs must be guaranteed. They must be wild. Don't worry about this, Zheng Weijun said. After the incident last time, I've notified them. The next time something like that happens, all the relevant personnel will be fired. That's good, Wang Yao said. He was really worried about the situation last time. He happened to be there last time and found it. If he hadn't been there, the batch of herbs might have been used directly. Of course, the effect of the medicine might not be affected too much, but it might set a very bad precedent. Those people might not care about it the first time and continue to make the second mistake. Then, they would get used to it. If this continued, the pharmaceutical company might be finished soon. A bad beginning was the beginning of destruction. Sir, do you have time tonight? Yes, what's the matter? The medicine has been sold, Zheng Weijun said. This is a good start. To be honest, I've been having a headache over this matter these days. I think it's worth celebrating. Sure, Wang Yao said. Then, tonight it's settled. Okay. He stayed at Wang Yao's place for about half an hour. When he saw that a patient had come, he left and went to the factory in town. The third batch of medicine had been produced and stored in the warehouse. It happened to be a car from Dao that came to load the medicine. Chief Xing, you're here. The person in charge was also quite happy. From the beginning of the slow sales to now taking the initiative to ask for the goods, the interval was actually not long, but he was also quite anxious. Now that he saw that the medicine had been sold, he was very happy. He felt more motivated to do things. The company's performance was good, so their income would be high. Is the production normal? Yes, it's normal. The fourth batch of medicine has been put into production. The raw materials must be controlled well, Zheng Weijun said. If there are any problems, I'll deal with you first. Oh, don't worry. Okay, you do your work. I'll walk around. Okay. After hearing this, the person in charge went straight to the pharmaceutical factory and gave instructions in a few important places. Zheng Weijun entered the factory and saw a busy scene. He was in a very good mood. A factory had to be operating, producing products, and then selling the products. Only then could it make money. Just like some time ago, the factory had been shut down for more than 10 days. He had also come here once. It was deserted, and there were only workers in charge of equipment maintenance and cleaning. It looked like a newly built factory, like a company that was about to close down. Thousands of miles away, in He County in southern Yunnan. Tianjin? Where do you want to go? Lu Xiufeng and Yang Guanfeng were both surprised to hear Miao Qingtang's request. Why? There might still be people from the stockade there, Miao Qingtang said. People who escaped over a decade ago. How did you know? In the past, when I was in the stockade, I contacted 1 or 2 people who got along well with me outside. At that time, I remember that he said he would go to Tianjin in the future. What's his name? His name used to be Miao Qingyuan, Miao Qingtang said. I don't know what his name is anymore. When was the last time you contacted each other? I can't remember, Miao Qingtang said. It's been a few years. It's been a few years. Can you still contact him now? Miao Qingtang shook his head. Think about it again, Lu Xiufeng said. Is there anywhere else you can go? In truth, they had already chosen a place. It was just a small city in a nearby province. The living habits there were similar to those there. The main thing was that the standard of living there was about the same. The prices there were relatively lower. While their superiors had agreed to the plan, the cost was relatively limited. They needed to consider everything. They needed to ensure Miao Qingtang's safety while spending as little as possible. "No, I want to go to Tianjin," Miao Qingtang said. "To tell you the truth, we have a limited amount of money for you to settle down. It might not be enough in Tianjin." Yang Guanfeng chose to tell the truth. He hoped that Miao Qingtang would back off and change his mind. "I still want to go to Tianjin. It's farther away from here." "Why not go to the 3 provinces in the northeast?" Lu Xiufeng asked with a smile. "It's farther from here." "It's too cold there," Miao Qingtang said. "The environment isn't very good. I've been to Jing. It's prosperous, but I don't really like it." "Have you been to Tianjin?" "No, I just want to go." Seeing how insistent Miao Qingtang was, the two of them did not say anything else. "Since you've decided, we'll send you to Tianjin," Yang Guanfeng said. "Thank you. When do you want to leave?" "The sooner, the better." "Tomorrow, then." "It's a deal." "Sure. I'll see you off tonight." "No need," Miao Qingtang said with a smile. He wanted to leave as soon as possible. As for why he insisted on going to Tianjin, it was because of Su Xinyuan's suggestion. What he said was not entirely false. The Miao Qingyuan he mentioned was a real person. It was possible to find out about him. Furthermore, he was indeed in Tianjin. That was all arranged by Su Xinyuan. That place was closer to Jing. Furthermore, the Guo family had a lot of say there. It would have been easier to get things done there. "Are you still afraid?" "I'd be lying if I said I wasn't." "All right, we'll talk to the higher-ups again. Get ready. If everything goes well, we'll leave tomorrow." "All right, thank you. It's my pleasure." That night, Miao Qingtang lay quietly on the bed in his room, thinking about his life from now on. In the best hotel in Lianshan County, thousands of miles away, Zheng Weijun drank quite a bit. He had been under a lot of pressure lately. He had not been able to eat or sleep well because he was unable to sell the medicine he made. Things were looking good. He could finally breathe a sigh of relief. It was worth celebrating. As such, he drank more than he should have. "Sir, here's to you." That was the 4th time he had toasted Wang Yao at the table. Wang Yao drank the wine in his glass with a smile. The wine was no different from water to him. Zheng Weijun, on the other hand, was obviously tongue-tied when he spoke. "Thank you, Mr. The success of this pharmaceutical factory is all thanks to Mr. If it weren't for you, I would be the loser of the family struggle right now. I would still be hiding in a corner and complaining about it." "That's right." Wang Yao smiled. Truth came out when drunk. Zheng Weijun spoke from the bottom of his heart. Chapter 947. Zheng Weijun was carried into the car by his driver and assistant. In the end, he was so drunk that he passed out. "Take good care of him," Wang Yao said. "Don't worry, Mr. Wang." Wang Yao left the hotel in another car. He returned home and went straight to Nanshan Hill. On Nanshan Hill, it was quiet as usual. Nothing happened that night. The next morning, the sun rose as usual. In He County, thousands of miles away, Miao Qingfeng and Miao Changhong were in a restaurant. "He may leave the city today. Have you found out where he is going?" "Yes. Yes. He should be going to Tianjin." "Yes. When do we leave?" "Wait. Wait a little longer. We can't be too conspicuous." "Yes. Tianjin is very big. We might not be able to find him then," Miao Changhong said. "Didn't we bring a lot of good things when we came this time?" "Yes." "Gu?" "Yes. Yes. Yes. But how can we do that? He is not easy to get close to now." "Yes. Don't put it on him. He definitely won't go alone. I guess Yang Guanfeng or Lu Xiufeng will go with him. We can put the goo on these two people and follow them. Yes. Hurry up. Yes. I've already put it on them, Miao Qingfeng said. The next afternoon, a car drove out of He County. They have left He County. Yes. Lu Xiufeng? Yes. 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 You are so thoughtful, Miao Changhong said with a smile. Who is following them? It was best for the two of them not to disappear at this time. Otherwise, if something went wrong in the future, they would be the first to be suspected. Someone is following them in the stockade. When they arrive and determine the location, we will go there, Miao Qingfeng said. If anything goes wrong thousands of miles away, it shouldn't involve us, right? Yes, let him have a good taste of pain. In He County, under the seemingly calm surface, there was an uproar. What do you mean? We found traces of Miao Tianchuan, but the person who followed him had an accident. What accident? Don't take a breath. Say it all in one breath. Sacrificed. Sacrificed? This was the first time they had sacrificed a police officer for this case. Motherf ****. The police officer cursed. There was no new progress in the case, and his subordinate was sacrificed. How could he not be angry? After hearing the news, Lu Xiufeng and Yang Guanfeng were silent for a long time and ate several cigarettes in a row. This won't work. That Miao Tianchuan is too special and too dangerous. Yeah, we've never faced such criminals before, Lu Xiufeng said. This was the kind of situation where even if you discovered the other party's tracks, there was nothing you could do. Discovered and killed? Lu Xiufeng asked. Yang Guanfeng lowered his head and stared at the ash in the ashtray. Yes, but it can't be in a crowded place. Who knows what other things he has on him? If it causes a large number of casualties, it will be troublesome. Yes, we have to consider this carefully. At this moment, in another small town about 200 miles away from He County, looking at the news on his phone, Miao Qingshan looked up at the calm Miao Tianchuan in shock. You killed someone, and you're a police officer? They're too annoying, Miao Tianchuan said calmly. I need to teach them a lesson. This was not the first time he had done this kind of thing. When he had set up the company, he had done it many times. He took money from people and solved problems for them. Now, he did it so that he would not be bothered by those people. If they can find our tracks, the people in the stockade will soon follow. I'm afraid you don't know this, but in addition to Miaoxi River, there are a few people in the stockade who are also very difficult to deal with. It's just that they are a little older. Miaoxi River still wants to save face, so he won't ask them to come out unless it's a last resort. Now that the situation is special, I think they will come out soon. If they find us, we will really be in trouble, Miao Tianchuan said. He knew more about the secrets of the stockade than Miao Qingshan. Although Miao Qingshan was the grandson of the old patriarch, he was more like a flower that grew in a greenhouse. Neither the old patriarch nor his son told Miao Qingshan about the cruel reality. Perhaps it was because they wanted to protect Miao Qingshan and did not want him to be involved. Miao Qingshan did not say anything. He frowned. He was struggling and hesitating in his mind. It was obvious that things were very serious at the moment. In truth, he had done nothing. Regardless of whether he was in or out of the stockade, he had not killed a single person. He had not even hurt anyone. Yet, he had become a wanted criminal, and it was a very serious one at that. Following Miao Tianchuan meant that he had to bear more and more blame. It was hard to explain. He could not let things go on like this. Deep in his heart, he wanted to leave Miao Tianchuan. What are you thinking about? Miaoxi River looked at Miao Qingshan, who was in a daze. Nothing. Is it because I've gone too far? Yes. Haha, Qingshan, you are the grandson of the old chief, but there are some things that you know too little about, Miaoxi River said. Be it in or out of the stockade, Things are not as peaceful as you think they are. Many things are very dark and people eat people. Come, have a smoke? No, thank you. The sky outside gradually darkened. After a day of running, Miao Qingtang finally made it to Tianjin. The big city, which was close to the capital, was 100 times more prosperous than the stockade. The people who came with him helped him arrange a temporary place to stay. Lu Xiufeng had come personally, but something happened along the way, so he had to turn back. He was replaced by another experienced policeman. Phew! Miao Qingtang breathed a sigh of relief when he got there. It's a little safer. Thanks. Thousands of miles away, Miao Qingfeng's expression soured. He had lost track of Miao Qingtang. Why? Lu Xiufeng had to turn back not long after he left the city. He sent someone else to follow him. Miao Changhong was dumbfounded. What do we do then? Just keep waiting, Miao Qingfeng said. The two of them will have to go sooner or later. They can't just leave Miao Qingtang there, can they? Hey, don't we have that GPS system? Can't we just find the car he's in? We didn't prepare for that, Miao Qingfeng said. It's too late to talk about it now. No rush. He won't be able to get away. Miao Changhong did not say anything. That was easier said than done. Finding someone in a small county like He County was not easy, let alone in a big city. Thousands of miles away in Tianjin, Miao Qingtang met up with his good friend, Miao Qingyuan, in the village that night. The two of them were very happy to see each other. Meeting an old friend in a foreign land was one of the happiest things in life. Miao Qingyuan even introduced him to someone else, someone who came with money. What do you think of Tianjin? Su Xinyuan asked with a smile. It's pretty good, Miao Qingtang replied. That place was a completely different world from the village. It was also different from his county. It was a small place, after all. That place was lively and bustling. People came and went, and traffic flowed like rivers. It was his first time there, and he was still getting used to it. That's good to hear. That's what we agreed on. Su Xinyuan handed him a bank card with 100,000 inside. Thank you. Miao Qingtang hesitated for a bit before taking the bank card. That meant that their partnership had officially come to an end. Alright, let's start with the dishes. We'll talk while we eat, Su Xinyuan said with a smile. Soon, a table full of delicious dishes was served. Come, let's toast to our partnership and friendship. Cheers. Both Miao Qingtang and Miao Qingyuan downed the wine in their cups. Come, let's eat. That was the first time they had met. Su Xinyuan was not in a hurry to ask too many questions about the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. They mostly chatted as if they were old friends who had not seen each other for a long time. He understood the principle of casting a long line to catch a big fish. That meeting was a pleasant one for both the host and the guest. Feel free to look for me if you need anything, Su Xinyuan said. Oh, thanks. Su Xinyuan said goodbye and left. The two of them found a tea house and asked for a private room. What's the background of this person? Chapter 948. He's a big shot, Miao Qingyuan said after taking a sip of tea. Looks like he's on the right track. You don't have to worry about him. How did you make it through all these years? How did you make it through? Miao Qingyuan lowered his head and looked at the steaming tea on the table. After I left the village, I thought about going somewhere far away, Miao Qingyuan said. I stopped interacting with the people in the village and traveled to the Miaoxi River more often. I went to the north and the west, but I didn't have any money with me. After traveling around, I settled down near He County, got married, and had kids. I thought I'd just live like that for the rest of my life. I didn't expect something like that to happen in He County and involve the village. The Miao Qingfeng came looking for us. You guys are family, aren't you? Family. Everyone in the village has the surname Miao. We're all family. That Miao Qingfeng doesn't care about that. He's just a dog like the Miaoxi River, Miao Qingyuan said. Are you still thinking about revenge? Of course I am, Miao Qingyuan said. Haven't you thought about it? Of course I have. I'm different from you. You've thought about it and done it, but I'm just thinking about it. Miao Qingyuan smiled bitterly. I know what I'm capable of, Miao Qingyuan said. I'll just be walking to my death if I go back. In truth, the Miaoxi River has only let us live peacefully all these years because he doesn't think we're a threat and doesn't want to deal with us. He knew that very well. What child? A little boy. How old is he? He's 4 years old this year. Miao Qingyuan's expression softened when he talked about his son. That's great, Miao Qingtang said enviously. He was 30 this year and wanted to have a family. However, when he was in the stockade, it was just a thought. He knew the situation in the stockade and the darkness. He lay low. Even if he couldn't avenge his parents, he couldn't let his descendants continue living like him. Things were different now. He had escaped an escape. After talking to Miao Qingyuan, he felt that he should change his way of life. He should find an ordinary woman and have 2 children. It would be best if they were a boy and a girl. They did not need to be very good in their studies or be very smart. They just needed to be healthy. I'm still worried, Miao Qingtang said. Are you worried that Miaoxi River will follow you? Yes, the more I know, the more I find him terrifying. This is Tianjin. It's such a big city. How can he find us? If you want to, you'll naturally be able to find it. Are you still worried? Yes, to be honest, I want to live a peaceful life. Peaceful days. I have nightmares when I sleep now, Miao Qingtang said. He was unable to sleep well. That was not a life he wanted. To be honest, when I first got out of the stockade, I was like you, Miao Qingtang said. I couldn't sleep well. I kept feeling like someone was after me, but I got better after a while. Things are different now, Miao Qingtang said. Things happened in He County and Xushan County one after another. So many people died. Miaoxi River is furious. Is it really Tianchuan? It's him, Miao Qingtang said. He's willing to do anything for revenge. Is that why you left? Yes, I didn't kill anyone, Miao Qingtang said. Regardless of whether I was in or out of the stockade, I was treated as a wanted criminal. I was on the wanted list all over the country. I was like a rat on the street, hiding all day. I had to face the pursuit of both the stockade and the government. Furthermore, Miao Tianchuan has changed. He's become too dangerous. Now that you're here, you should sleep well and think about other things later. Yeah. Miao Qingtang nodded. After parting ways with Miao Qingyuan, Miao Qingtang went to his place in Tianjin. He rented a house there. It was not particularly high-end, but it was very cozy. The furniture was all ready-made. Miao Qingtang closed his eyes as he lay on the bed. He quickly fell asleep. It was the first time he had had a good night's sleep in so many days. In a mountain village thousands of miles away, there was a special patient in Wang Yao's clinic. It was a girl in her 20s. There was a huge black mark on the right side of her face. It made her beautiful face look rather terrifying. As such, she had a special hairstyle to hide the mark. Dr. Wang, can you take a look and see if this mark can be removed? Accompanying her was a woman in her 50s. She was the girl's mother. Her daughter was of marriageable age, but with such a huge birthmark on her face, no one was willing to marry her. Furthermore, the girl was not confident in herself. She wanted to go to a big hospital, as it would have been expensive. The mother and daughter heard that the young doctor had extraordinary medical skills, so they went to see him. Sit down and let me take a look, Wang Yao said. After the girl sat down, Wang Yao carefully checked the birthmark. Yeah, it can be removed. Really? The old woman was shocked. Of course it's true, Wang Yao said with a smile. Then, how do you remove it? Well, the birthmark is relatively forward, Wang Yao said. It's not very deep. I can remove it first. Remove it as a whole? Do you mean remove it? Yeah, you can think of it that way. What? The woman was dumbfounded after hearing that. It's on the face. It's such a big piece. If you remove it, won't it leave a big scar? Won't it be even uglier? I can restore her face to its original state after the removal. Well, I don't believe that. The woman waved her hand. Let's go, daughter. Let's go somewhere else. She pulled her daughter and walked out. Wang Yao shook his head with a smile. Mom, if he said that he would give you medicine to try, I would believe it. He actually said that he would perform surgery on you. This young man is actually a liar. The more the woman spoke, the angrier she became. We didn't agree, she said to her mother with a smile. Let's go. I'll take you to a big hospital. No need, the girl said. It's fine as it is. She knew her family's situation. They couldn't afford to send her to a big hospital. She had a younger brother who was studying in a university outside. He needed to find a job and buy a house in a big city. It was an astronomical figure. Her family saved money for her brother. Sir. Jia Zizai entered the clinic from outside. Are the mother and son outside here to see the doctor? Yes. The birthmark on the girl's face is quite scary. She doesn't have to be afraid of bad people when she goes out at night. You can't joke about other people's shortcomings, Wang Yao said seriously. Ah yes, I was wrong, Jia Zizai immediately said. What can I do for you? I caught a big fish in the river today. I'd like to invite you to have fish soup tonight. Big fish? In this weather? Yes, it's in the river next to us. Okay, I see. Wang Yao nodded with a smile. Can you treat the girl's birthmark? Yes, but they don't believe that I can treat it, Wang Yao said. Well, they made a mistake. That kind of birthmark is actually not too difficult to treat. It's on the surface of the skin. You just need to cut it off. Cut it off along with the skin. Will it be very painful? Jia Zizai asked. It won't be very painful. I'll make some painkillers for her, Wang Yao said. I think the girl will be very beautiful if the birthmark is removed. Chapter 949. Wang Yao stared at Jia Zizai and smiled. What's wrong, sir? Are you staring at the girl very carefully? No, it's a professional habit. Jia Zizai scratched her head. You don't dare to do it when you're with Hu Mei, do you? That's right. When I'm with her, it's basically her looking at the girls and me looking at the boys. Sir, don't forget to go tonight. I know, I'll definitely go. By the way, ask Uncle to go with you. Doesn't Uncle also want to drink a few sips? Jia Zizai asked. Okay, I'll ask him then, Wang Yao said. However, it was highly likely that his father would not go because he had asked him more than once. Jia Zizai stayed for a while and left. Wang Yao sat there thinking about the girl just now. In fact, he really wanted to treat the girl. After all, it was the first time he had come into contact with such a patient. Some doctors were always interested in some difficult and complicated diseases. He was the same. When his medical skills reached such a place, ordinary diseases could no longer arouse his interest. It's a pity. Although the girl did not agree to receive treatment here, it did not prevent Wang Yao from recording the patient's situation and listing the treatment plan he had thought of in detail below. In fact, the so-called surgery was not as terrible as the mother and daughter imagined. On this cold day, there were not many patients. When he returned home in the afternoon, Wang Yao told his father about Jia Zizai's invitation to dinner. Sure enough, his father said he would not go. After all, they were all young people. It was not good for an old man like him to get involved. They had nothing in common. When it was just dark, Wang Yao came to Jia Zizai's house with 2 bottles of wine. Sir, please sit down. The steaming big fish was served on the table. The big pot had been squatting in it for the whole afternoon. The milky white fish soup was fragrant and appetizing. 1,000 rolling tofu and 10,000 rolling fish. Who may also fried a few side dishes. Her cooking skills were very good. The 4 of them were master and apprentices. They ate fish, drank wine, and chatted. Outside the house, the cold wind was howling, but inside the house, the food was in full swing. It's almost the new year. Aren't you going back to your hometown to take a look? Hometown. Jia Zizai took a bite of the food. Sir, if you didn't mention it, I would have forgotten where my hometown is. I remember that when I left, there were still a few rundown houses at home. I don't know if they are still there now. I reckon that they have long been dilapidated. I don't have any relatives at home. If I go back now, things will remain the same but people will change. It will only increase my sadness. At the table, they talked about the Lunar New Year and their families. Jia Zizai also talked about the dark past, which she couldn't bear to recall now. Compared to the days now, those days were really dark. He sighed. What about you? Aren't you going back to your hometown for the new year? Wang Yao asked Zhong Luchuan. Go home, Zhong Luchuan said after recalling for a while. I have forgotten what my hometown is like. He and Jia Zizai were in a similar situation. They had left their hometown for more than a decade. During this time, they had only returned once. They didn't have any relatives in their hometown. What would they do if they went back? Sir, from now on, this village will be our hometown, Jia Zizai said. They could be considered to have settled down and taken root here. They had even moved their household registration over. We are a big family, aren't we, sir? Yes, of course, Wang Yao said with a smile. Come on, cheers. Cheers. Zhong Anxin also smiled and raised her glass full of juice. The house was very warm. Their hearts were also very warm. Everyone's face was full of happy smiles. They stayed there until 9 o'clock in the evening before they went home separately. Wang Yao went up Nanshan Hill in the cold night. The crescent moon in the sky was like a hook. It was a bit lonely. On Nanshan Hill, it was as warm as spring. The night passed peacefully. The next morning, as soon as Wang Yao went down the hill, he saw an acquaintance waiting outside the clinic. Brother He, I haven't been here for a long time. Please come in and have a seat. The person was He Qixing. He hadn't been here for a long time. I've been busy recently, so I haven't had time to come here, He Qixing said with a smile. He invited him into the house and poured a cup of tea. I heard that you have opened a pharmaceutical company here? Yes, it's in the town over there, not far from here, Wang Yao said. How have you been recently? Very good, He Qixing said with a smile. In fact, he had come here purely because it was almost the end of the year. He had come here to get in touch. It was like this every year during festivals. He represented the Guo family. It was Guo Sairu who had asked him to come. You don't have to bring anything. It's almost the end of the year, He Qixing said. It's just a small token of my appreciation. You must accept it. Otherwise, I can't explain it when I go back. Okay, I'll accept it, but I can't let you go back empty-handed. Wang Yao also gave him a box of good tea in return. It was not a lot, but it was a token of his appreciation. He Qixing stayed for more than an hour. The two of them just chatted. They talked a lot and vaguely revealed some of the Guo family's recent situation. Take care. Wang Yao walked him to the door. He could see that brother he had a lot on his mind. My heart is too tired, he sighed. In the morning, a patient came in with a headache. The reason was very simple. It was cold. He didn't pay attention when he went out in the car and caught a cold. Wang Yao gave him a massage. He sweated immediately. Then, he prescribed him 2 doses of medicine. Okay, you'll be fine after you go back and take it. Thank you. While he was treating him, the patient kept complaining that work was not easy. It was the end of the year, but the boss didn't give him any money. Life was difficult and life was not easy. Wang Yao just smiled and comforted him. It was not the first time he had encountered such a thing. After these people vented out their complaints, their moods improved a little. In a town not far from the mountain village, 3 people came to Nanshan Pharmaceutical Company today. They were people from other provinces. They were there to look for Zheng Weijun. "Hello, Chief Zheng." "Yo, Chief Pan, how do you have time to come here?" Zheng Weijun was very surprised by the arrival of the 3 of them. "Chief Zheng, your place is really prosperous," Chief Pan said with a smile. "The orders are increasing," Zheng Weijun said. "Work more and try to have some stock. It's the end of the year, so it's good for the holidays. We're here to discuss with you. We hope to increase the orders." "How much?" Zheng Weijun asked. "This amount." Chief Pan stretched out his fingers and spread them out. 50%? 5 times. 5 times. Zheng Weijun was shocked when he heard that. "Also, I want to be able to obtain the exclusive agency rights in Jiangsu and Jiangxia," Chief Pan said. "Not only for this medicine, but also for Nanshan Pharmaceutical Company." To be honest, at the beginning, he was not optimistic about the pharmaceutical company that had just been established and put into production last year. He had agreed to help Zheng Weijun because they had gotten along well before. At the beginning, the medicine was useless, so he did not care. However, in the past 2 weeks, almost all the people who sold the medicine through him requested to increase the amount. The amount was not ordinary. It increased by several times, which surprised him very much. He immediately arranged for someone to investigate. The result was that the medicine was very effective, and the target audience was very wide. Once word of mouth spread, the effect was quite amazing. This made him pay attention to it, which led to this trip. "I can agree to your second request," Zheng Weijun said. After all, at that time, for the sake of this new company and this new product, he went around begging his so-called friends, hoping that they could help him. Only this person in front of him agreed very happily. Although the quantity was not large, for him, it was a timely help. He remembered this friendship in his heart, so this time, he agreed very happily. However, the first request made him a little embarrassed. "What about the first one?" "At most, I can give you 2. 5 times the amount," Chief Pan said. "No more." "Why?" "Now the amount is increasing everywhere," Zheng Weijun said. He was not lying. So far, he had received requests from 5 people who wanted to increase the supply. However, he could not increase the output. He had the equipment, but the raw materials were not enough. Wang Yao's requirement was that wild herbs must be used. At the very least, they had to be artificially grown in the mountains. This requirement was very harsh. However, he directly told the purchasing department that he could not give any discount. Since they had already found out, the relevant personnel directly packed up their belongings and left. In order to ensure this, he specially arranged for a trusted person to take samples of the raw materials from time to time and then send them to a third-party testing agency for testing. So far, the company had implemented this rule very well. All the raw materials of the medicinal materials were almost the best in the country. "What about the production capacity?" "It's not that I don't want to, but I can't," Zheng Weijun said. "We have to follow the process, step by step. There can't be any discounts. Otherwise, this little bit of reputation that has just been accumulated will be gone." "Okay, that's it then." The 2 of them signed the contract on the spot. Happy cooperation, just like before. Happy cooperation. Both of them were very happy. Zheng Weijun acted as a host and entertained Chief Pan. During the meal, they chatted and learned that Chief Pan was going to Jing to ask a doctor to treat his mother. "Is your mother not feeling well?" In the past her legs hurt. This year, the pain is so bad that she doesn't dare to get out of bed and walk. She has seen a lot of doctors in our country, but the effect is not good. She wants to go to Jing to have a look." "I know a good doctor," Zheng Weijun said with a smile. "Is that so? Where is it?" Chief Pan hurriedly asked. Not far away, just around here. That's great. Can you introduce me? No problem. Chapter 950. Wait a moment. Zheng Weijun called Wang Yao in front of Mr. Pan. Sir, it's me, Weijun. His greeting and attitude made Mr. Pan very curious. This kind of respectful attitude usually only appeared from a junior to an elder or a subordinate to a superior, not to mention such respect. Okay, I got it. Sir, are you free in the afternoon? Shall we go over after lunch? Okay. Mr. Pan smiled. He also wanted to see what kind of person could make the Jing family's young master, who had always thought highly of himself, be so respectful and call him sir. I also want to see this gentleman who makes you so respectful, Mr. Pan said with a smile. Seeing him is better than hearing about him, Zheng Weijun said. After lunch, they stayed for a while and drank a few cups of tea. When the smell of cigarettes and alcohol dissipated, they drove to the mountain village together. Here. After entering the mountain village, Mr. Pan was very surprised. Yes, this is the place. People who come here for the first time and see Sir for the first time will be very surprised, Zheng Weijun said with a smile. The car stopped at the south end of the village. A building that did not fit in with the surroundings appeared in front of them. It had black tiles and white walls. It was a southern architectural style. This building is very exquisite, Mr. Pan said. This is Sir's clinic. Outside the door, Mr. Pan stared at the wooden sign for a while. Interesting. Zheng Weijun knocked on the door. Then, the two of them heard the sound of "Please come in" at the same time. They entered the courtyard. Although it was winter, the small courtyard did not look particularly bleak. A small piece of bamboo was green and pleasing. This courtyard is even more exquisite, Mr. Pan said with a sigh. Just by looking at the house and the courtyard, one could tell that the people there were not simple. This was not the kind of luxury that could be piled up. It was a kind of elegance inside and outside. The two of them entered the house and saw Wang Yao sitting on a chair with a book in his hand. Sir. Come, have a seat, Wang Yao said with a smile. Mr. Pan was stunned. He looked at Wang Yao in surprise and then looked at Zheng Weijun beside him. This is the gentleman I was talking about, Zheng Weijun said with a smile. So young. He sighed in his heart. Sir, this is Brother Pan. Hello, sir. My name is Pan Jiao. Hello, my name is Wang Yao. I am a pharmacist. Pharmacist? Pan Jiao was stunned. This was the first time he had heard such a form of address. The first person he thought of was actually the Eastern heretic Huang Yaoshi from Jin Yong's martial arts novel. Tell me about your mother's condition, Wang Yao said. Oh, okay. Pan Jiao then told Wang Yao about his mother's condition in detail. Some of the details were described very carefully. It could be seen that he usually cared about his mother very much. I understand the situation. I can treat it. Take some time to bring the old man here, Wang Yao said. Okay, I got it. Thank you, Pan Jiao said. They didn't stay in the clinic for long before they took their leave. Brother, is this Mr. Wang's medical skills really that amazing? Haha, I know you have doubts in your heart, brother, Wang Yao said. This is normal. When you bring the old man here to have a look, these doubts will disappear. By then, you will know that I am telling the truth. Remember to call in advance a few days before you come. Mr. Wang may go out. Okay, I got it. Actually, in Jing, there are often people who come here, Zheng Weijun said as he looked out the window. Jing, to seek medical treatment? Yes, Zheng Weijun said. Also, all my problems were cured by Mr. Wang. Only by experiencing it personally can I know how amazing Mr. Wang is, Zheng Weijun said with a smile. I will go back and prepare as soon as possible. I will bring my mother here before the new year to let him have a look. Well, I guarantee that she will be cured. Pan Jiao smiled. He felt that the man in front of him seemed to have been brainwashed. He had almost blind worship and trust for Mr. Wang. During dinner, Wang Fenghua said, "It's almost the new year. You have to go to Jing and visit Xiaoshue's house." I am going to go there in 2 days. I will spend the New Year's Eve in Jing with Xiaoshue. Well, that would be best, Wang Fenghua said. Will Xiaoshue come during the New Year? Zhang Xiuying asked. If she doesn't come on the 30th, she will come back after the New Year, Wang Yao said with a smile. Good, good, good. Zhang Xiuying said 3 words in a row. Wang Yao had discussed this matter with Su Xiaoshue in the past 2 days. It happened that she was about to have a holiday. She originally wanted to come before the New Year, but she was persuaded by Wang Yao not to come. The main reason was that it was close to the end of the New Year and the Spring Festival. Although she did not have to worry about tickets, there were too many people. As a girl, it was better to wait. This was Wang Yao's idea, as well as his parents'. Thousands of miles away in Nanha, it's almost the New Year, and we haven't made any progress yet, Lu Xiufeng said. It seems that this case has to be delayed. I have been thinking about these cases for the past 2 days, Yang Guanfeng said. The reason why Miao Tianchuan did this was to frame someone else. He couldn't enter the Valley of Thousands of Medicine to take revenge, so he could only use this method to borrow external forces. To be precise, he was borrowing the power of the country to deal with the Miaoxi River. Following this train of thought, can we use the Miaoxi River as bait? Using the Miaoxi River as bait? What do you mean? Lu Xiufeng was stunned. His eyes immediately lit up. Yes, why didn't we think of this earlier? He slapped his thigh. This idea is not bad. Not bad. Good job, old Yang. Don't get too excited just yet. There are a lot of difficulties with this idea. First, we need to convince Miao Shihe to work with us. Second, which is also the most difficult part, is how to use him to trap Miao Tianchuan without harming any innocent people in the process. We can see from the previous 3 cases that Miao Tianchuan is a ruthless character. He has no bottom line and is capable of doing anything. Through the information in the database, we know that he has another identity. He's a wanted criminal in Qi province. That person is probably proficient in firearms and explosives, which could easily cause large-scale casualties. Let's think about it then, Lu Xiufeng said. I think the first problem you're worried about is that Miao Shihe will cooperate with us. He might be more interested in capturing Miao Tianchuan than we are. After all, while Miao Tianchuan's life isn't in any danger out there, he's still having his reputation tarnished. As for the poison, if Miao Shihe is willing to cooperate with us, then it shouldn't be a problem. He's an expert in detoxification. The last problem, though, is something we really need to think about. If he can't kill Miao Shihe with poison, then we'll have to think about other methods, such as large-scale explosions. Yeah, right. One more thing, Lu Xiufeng said. How is Miao Chengtang doing? He's doing well. He has friends back in Tianjin. He's thinking about getting a job there after the New Year. That's good to hear. How about we pay him a visit soon? Sure. The matter was settled. That day, the Miao Qingfeng and Miao Changhong came to say goodbye. They were heading back to the village. Since it was the New Year, the village took the traditional festival very seriously. It had been that way for hundreds of years. Alright, thank you guys for the past few days. You're welcome, Miao Guanghong said. What we can do is limited. We haven't been able to help much. No, you guys have been a great help, Yang Guanfeng hurriedly said. Just saving those dozen people has been a great help to us. We'd like to pay a visit to the village before the New Year to express our gratitude, Miao Qingfeng said. Please pass on our thanks when you get back. Sure, you two are welcome to visit our village, the Miao Qingfeng said. The 2 of them left He County on the same day. They'll most likely make a trip back to Tianjin before the New Year, the Miao Qingfeng said to Miao Changhong on the way. We'll know where Miao Chengtang is by then. Yeah, we can't let him get away so easily. In Tianjin, thousands of miles to the north, Miao Chengtang had been able to sleep well for the past 2 days. His complexion looked a lot better than when he was in He County. Chapter 951. Back in Tianjin, he no longer had to worry about the people from the village coming after him. He was able to sleep and eat, which made him look a lot better. Furthermore, with Su Xinyuan's help, he was able to find a job. The pay was not very high and the work was not very tiring. However, he had no education and no skills. That was good enough for him, and he was very satisfied. I hope things can continue like this. That was his desire for a peaceful life. He saw some hope at the moment. If Miao Tianchuan can succeed, that would be even better. He still hoped that Miao Tianchuan would be able to get his revenge and kill Miaoxi River. Only then would he be able to get rid of any future problems. As a response, or rather, a reward, he told Su Xinyuan something about the secret of the Valley of Thousands of Medicine. Using medicine to refine the body? Su Xinyuan was very curious when he heard that. How do you do it? Miao Chengtang did not answer that question. What he knew was limited, and he could not tell him everything at once. Otherwise, he would lose his value and be cast aside. He had vaguely communicated with Miao Qingyuan about this matter, and Miao Qingyuan's opinion was the same. They could not reveal everything they knew. They had to keep some things to themselves and wait for the right price to sell. They were not talented people, did not have a wealth of knowledge, and did not have any special abilities. They could only rely on the secrets in their minds, and those secrets would not increase. The more they revealed, the less they would be exposed. In fact, he knew a little about medicine. In the stockade, almost everyone knew about it. In addition, he also knew a special method, but it was not very useful in this bustling city of reinforced concrete. He had thought about it over the past few days and decided to observe the changes in the situation. If the people in the stockade did not discover him within a year or two, or if they directly gave up on taking revenge on him, then he would find a way to open a clinic and practice medicine. He could not treat serious diseases, but he could still treat injuries, headaches, and colds. Miao Qingyuan asked him out for dinner that night. He drank a lot and became more talkative. Actually, deep down, I also hope that Miaoxi River dies, Miao Qingyuan said. When he said that, his expression was ferocious. No one was willing to leave their home, not to mention escaping in such a desolate manner. After escaping, they were also on tenterhooks for many years. Over the years, the hatred in his heart had not truly dissipated with the passage of time. Instead, it had gradually accumulated and fermented over time. Sometimes, when he woke up in the middle of the night and couldn't fall asleep, he would think about these things. Unfortunately, it's just a thought. Miao Chengtang did not say anything after hearing that. He picked up a glass of white wine from the table and downed it. I'm afraid I won't be able to take revenge personally. I can only rely on external forces. External force? Miao Tianchuan? He can't. Miao Qingyuan shook his head. A wanted criminal, a madman who has lost his bottom line, Miao Qingyuan said. He will do crazy things, but crazy things can't do anything to the Miaoxi River. Naturally, it won't work. Do you have any good ideas? An external force is right in front of us. Right in front of us? Are you talking about Su Xinyuan? Miao Qingtang asked. He's still not quite there yet, Miao Qingyuan said. I'm talking about the forces behind him. Behind him? Miao Qingyuan recalled everything he knew about Su Xinyuan and told Miao Chengtang everything he knew about him in detail. While he had spent most of his time in the village and had little contact with the outside world, that did not mean that he knew nothing about such things. After hearing what Miao Qingyuan said, he knew that Su Xinyuan had a huge family behind him, the kind that was very powerful. How do we borrow their power? There are only two ways to get their attention, Miao Qingyuan said. One is to have enough benefits and the other is to have a big enough threat. A threat? What happened in He County has already threatened his future, Miao Qingyuan said. Isn't that a big enough threat? As for benefits, what do we have to offer? A threat to his future, Miao Qingyuan said. What happened in He County did have a big impact on him, but it's not just He County anymore. Didn't it happen in Xushan as well? It's no longer just a case. He's still very young. In a few years' time, no one will remember what happened. That's why the threat isn't big enough. If it's not big enough, what else could be big enough? Miao Qingtang's expression changed. His life? Yeah, that's a big enough threat. Miao Qingtang nodded. His heart skipped a beat. But he's well informed, Miao Qingyuan said. It's been confirmed that Miao Tianchuan was the one behind all those things. He's just trying to frame someone else. Who else can pose a big enough threat to him? That needs to be arranged and planned, Miao Qingyuan said. Qingyuan, you already have a wife and a child, Miao Qingtang said. The people in the village don't hate you that much. To put it bluntly, in Miaoshi River's eyes, you're a dispensable person. You're not like me, whom he wants to get rid of. You can continue living like this. Think about it. If you think about scheming against them and they find out, you won't be able to withstand the wrath of either side. I just can't take it lying down, Miao Qingyuan said. He had not been as calm as he seemed all those years ago. I think you're doing great the way you are now, Miao Qingtang said. Seriously, I envy you. Revenge is for the sake of the dead, Miao Qingtang said. That shouldn't affect the living. You and I are different from Miao Tianchuan. We're all single and have nothing to worry about. We can go all out and go crazy for revenge, but you can't. You have to think about your family. If he had the chance, he would have done everything in his power to kill Miaoshi River and get rid of any future problems. However, he did not have such an opportunity. Instead, another opportunity presented itself. It was an opportunity that allowed him to change his life and continue living. He wanted to take the initiative to seize that opportunity. Miao Qingyuan, who was sitting across from him, suddenly brought up something like that. Given Miao Qingyuan's temperament, the fact that he was able to bring it up meant that he had been thinking about it for a long time. The idea was terrifying and dangerous. It would have destroyed any hope he had of retreating to the next best thing. As such, Miao Qingyuan decided to persuade Miao Qingyuan not for Miao Qingyuan's sake, but mainly for his own. Miao Qingyuan was scheming against his benefactor. What would happen if he did that? What would happen to them? Miao Qingyuan thought about it carefully. It was easy to imagine the outcome. Putting aside how troublesome it would have been to carry out the plan, Miao Qingyuan thought. Well, I drank too much, Miao Qingyuan said. Just pretend that I was drunk. Yeah, but don't talk about this in front of Su Xinyuan. I haven't mentioned anything about my past to anyone at home, Miao Qingyuan said. Let's drink. Clink. The glasses clinked in midair. Both of them downed the wine in their cup. Given the current situation, they were bound together for good or ill. They were people from the same village, and had known each other for a long time. Furthermore, they were in a foreign place. If anything happened to one of them, the other would definitely be taken into consideration. After drinking, both of them returned to their respective residences. One of them had a wife and children to warm his bed, while the other lived alone in a rented house. To be honest, Miao Qingtang was envious of Miao Qingyuan. At the very least, Miao Qingyuan had a home out there. Home was a harbor for the soul, unlike Miao Qingtang, who felt like he was floating around. He did not know where he would end up and where he would end up. I should be content with what I have. If he had been in Miao Qingtang's shoes, he would have been content with what he had. Revenge was nothing more than being able to rise up with his family. That was what mattered the most. He did not know how lucky he was. Days went by just like that. 2 cars came to the village that morning. One of them was a rarely seen modified car. It was Panjiao. He had brought his mother from Suzhou province and asked Wang Yao to treat her. He carried the old woman out of the car and put her in a wheelchair before pushing her into the clinic. She was a very skinny old woman. Her face was pale, and her eyes looked lifeless. Her qi and blood were not flowing well, and she lacked energy. The old woman's problems were mainly with her legs. She had a problem with her legs. As she grew older, the problem continued to worsen. Pan Jiao had been trying to find a way to treat his mother over the years. He had seen many famous doctors and spent a lot of money, but the results were not obvious. "Sorry to trouble you, Mr. Wang." "You're welcome." The old woman's legs were as thin as firewood. Her muscles were atrophied. She could not exert strength in her lower limbs. Her physical activity was poor, and her qi and blood circulation were poor. This caused her whole body to be in a very poor state. It was a vicious cycle. The old woman's illness can be cured, but it can't be cured in a short time. I think it's better to take a few steps. First, I'll give the old woman some qi and blood to make her bones better. Then, I'll give her acupuncture and medicine to let her stand up and walk. Next, I'll take care of her whole body and restore her to the healthy state that she should be at her age. What do you think? Wang Yao asked. Okay, I have no objection, Pan Jiao said. That's good. If there is nothing urgent, you can stay here for 3 days to receive treatment. After 3 days, I have to go to Jing for something. I can't continue to treat the old woman. I'll prescribe some medicine for you to take back and continue to take. After the new year, you can bring the old woman back for treatment, Wang Yao said. Okay. Let's start. There were some things that Wang Yao explained to Pan Jiao first. The main thing was that during the treatment of the old woman, he would use medicine made from licorice roots. The price of these medicines was very high. After explaining things clearly, the Pan family said that as long as it could cure the old woman's illness, they were willing to spend any amount of money. He first gave the old woman regather soup. He had already prepared the medicine. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.